Looks like we are live. Welcome to the Transformers Slag podcast live stream, home of the messiest hair on the internet. This is what happens when you don't get a haircut for 6 months. Trust me, I'm getting one this week for sure. And then you'll say goodbye to the 90s back here. So, guys, today was quite a bit of a drop in terms of reveals, information, a lot of stuff going on here. Goodbye to the COVID hair. Today we're going to talk about the greatest Blackarachnia toy ever made that is a masterpiece, the Telemocha one, right? That's what we're going to be talking about? No? Isn't she nice? Man, they really tried back then, didn't they? So it's glad to see everybody. It's going to be quite a busy one tonight. We'll be doing some super chat. We'll be doing some Q&A. It's gonna be a crazy day. I also figure what we'll do too. I pulled out of the archive the very first Transformers TCG, and it didn't come from Wizards of the Coast. It did come from technically Hasbro, from their Parker Brothers division. We're gonna talk about the Beast Wars mutating card game, which was a rarity from that era. And what's unique to this is it actually has some art that was never used anywhere else, just for this card game of the characters. So it's really cool that they got the original box artist, which still to this day has never been credited for all the old Beast Wars box art. And we're going to crack this open. We're going to take a look at some of the art and just check out the cool stuff. And if you have any super chat questions, just shoot them. If I'm looking to the right here, it's because that's where the screen is. And we'll take care of everything. So first we'll crack it open, and we'll talk about what was revealed this whole weekend. So just today we had something that I was teasing on my channel. A couple of days ago I posted a video that I hoped people would be able to decipher in some way. It's kind of like layers on layers of craziness. Yeah, I'll answer normal questions too, but super chat does get priority, and it usually pops up on this screen, so it'll get my attention easier. Otherwise, I have to keep doing this to look over. On the regular, it doesn't pop up in my face. Only super chat ones do, unfortunately. What's up, Toxic Cloud? Got a bunch of people coming in today. So we're going to be also talking about the mutating card game. Look at that art. Look at that art. Isn't that awesome? That was never used on any boxes or anything. It's just unique just for this card game. Isn't that awesome? The mutant heads. I don't see the mutant heads anymore. It's a shame that the Kingdom didn't try to bring in mutant heads again, eh? So, essentially what we had today is we had the Ark was revealed today. This is the playmat. The Ark was revealed today. We had a whole bunch of other stuff. What's up, Steven? We had our first look, really good look, at Cheetor and his articulation. And of course we got our first really good look at the spider of Blackarachnia. So pretty cool stuff with that. Let me try to take everything out of the box here to show you guys. It would be cool. Hey, mutants, if the Generation Select stuff actually had some remolding, put some mutant heads, that'd be great. So what's cool is the base here for you to play the card game. It's actually like a little play set that you could connect, and it has these little like Beast Wars Transformer things that you could kind of like connect the play sets together. That's pretty cool. I dig that. Dig that a lot. There's two of them. Nice little forgotten card game, but the cards are the real. The art on the cards is the real draw here. Are they all in? Okay, they're by Predacon and they're by Maximal. Okay. So we'll just jump back and forth between this, keep things interesting. So will Transformers Kingdom, Dinobot, and Rhinox, any more Beast Wars figures Hasbro has or should have images look great? The way that I see it, we're going to probably see all of this stuff very soon. Let's put it that way. All stuff that should have been seen months ago that you will be seeing very soon. What was the line that killed repaints for people? Transformers has had repaints forever. In fact, you know what killed Transformers? Not doing repaints. Every time Transformers like almost suffered dying, they were never doing repaints. So it's a lot of cost. Which version of Cybertron Vector Prime mold is your favorite? Probably the Japanese version of Galaxy Force Vector Prime. It has the more show accurate colors with like the darker grays, and the force chip is painted in nicely. Has the cool electronic gimmick. That's my favorite one. A lot of the other ones, they actually gutted the electronics from them for budget reasons, so that's usually one of the best versions you could get. What's up, Roman? Yeah, Kingdom was supposed to be revealed at SDCC. I'm going to start with Armadillo. And Armadillo. And what's cool is you actually get the alt mode art, which is pretty cool. Never seen anywhere else but in this card game. Pretty cool. This art is on the packaging, although now you don't have it like obscured by a bubble and stuff, so you get it all in its glory. Isn't that cool with the blue on the back there? Really awesome. Universe Vector Prime was an interesting repaint. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. The Alpha Trion one is really cool too. Probably the best version of Alpha Trion that you could buy right now until they do something better is probably that one. Unfortunately, it's also the most expensive. Next one we got here. Wolf Fang. Look at that. But it's all about that alt mode art. Look at that. Look at it. Looks a little pissed, actually. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. Isn't that original art? Isn't that cool? What does he have a power of? His courage is the highest when he's in wolf mode or in alt mode, in robot mode. The Beast Head. With Galvatron coming in Kingdom, hope it will give us an opportunity to have Marvel Comics version. Well, there'll probably be a ton of repaints. You know. Look. Did they waste that Megatron mold with Siege? No, they didn't. They used it like crazy. How do you? What do you think the Ark will transform into? Gee, I don't know. I don't know at all. Any word on when Thrust or Cyclonus? Again, all that stuff is going to be coming very soon. Very soon we're going to be getting information and photos on that stuff. It already fell into the hands of, let's put it this way, the right people. The right people. Razor Beast. I've been looking for Razor Beast since like October. So we got Razor Beast, a fan favorite, Simon Furman's favorite pick for Beast Wars. And then we got his alt mode there, looking like Timon and Pumbaa. So, looks really badass. So we're getting pretty much Beast Wars and then going to get Beast Machines. Well, that's not confirmed. We're pretty much getting Beast Wars Season 1 for Kingdom right now. Judging on its success will determine what is used in the future. If it doesn't do well, then they'll move on to other things. If it does do well, then, you're going to see more of it. So, it's Randy without the gold plastic. The card is stronger than the toy. Probably handle water better, too. Next, we got Baboom, also known as Apache in Beast Wars 2nd, or Beast Wars 2. And get a load of this art. Look at that. I don't know. Looks kind of funny, that one, to me. Just because we never really saw anything outside of the toy of art of his alt mode there. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, that one. Do you think whenever we see Kingdom packaging, we'll have a similar color scheme, if not like the original Beast Wars packaging? Maybe. Maybe. Some Raptor Brown. Maybe. Here's a personal favorite of mine. Polar Claw. Always felt he was someone that should have been in the show. I don't know, I just loved him. Would have been a cool companion to Tigatron. Really cool toy. Cool gimmick with the bat. There he is. The polar bear. all the alt mode art was never seen outside of this card game. This ridiculously silly, rare card game that no one plays except me. Yeah, and Polar Claw was on Robot Chicken, yeah. They used his mold and they made a panda. And they had the voice of David Kaye reprise his role, which was pretty awesome. That's pretty cool, actually. David Kaye, I think he retweeted when I posted that. He retweeted it on his Twitter. Went a little crazy for a bit. If it does well, where do you see it going? Well, Season 2. Season 2 stuff. Transmetals, you know, so we're going to... Look, here's the gimmick. Third modes, you know? Imagine a whole line of triple changers, pretty much. You know, what would be the big figures? You could use your imagination. It's pretty obvious where you would go with that. It doesn't take a Hasbro VP exec to kind of figure out what would be the best course of action in a face of success of Beast Wars moving into Season 2 and stuff. Horned Owl, what's up, brother? What do you think of what we're getting from the Galactic Odyssey collection? Repaints galore, my friend. Repaints galore. Just taking those molds and making money from them. That's just how it is. Rat Trap with his flaming fist, never used in the show. His ability to be Iron Fist, I guess. Pretty cool stuff. But more importantly, the Rat. Look at that. Looks terrible compared to what we're used to in the show. Isn't that a weird one, eh? Isn't that a weird one? Courage 5. And Courage is 8 when he's in robot mode. Interesting, considering the character. Do you collect model kits? Yes, I do. Even prior to the Transformer model kits, I used to build Gundam kits. I still do once in a while. When I see a nice kit that catches my eye, like a GM or Char's Custom or, you know, stuff like that, I still participate in the World Gunpla Champion. I represent Canada every single year, although not this year. If you actually go on my Instagram, I have photos from when I represented 2018 and I think it was 2018, 2019. I don't think I posted the photos. 2019 I participated, but it was more for a historical purpose with old 70s Gundam stuff. But yeah, Dinobot with his mutant head on the side there, Choppa face, flaming sword, which again, he had an electrical sword, and then get a load of this art. Look at that. That's what they were going with for that alt mode at the time. A more striped kind of raptor with an orangey kind of look to it. Tony the Tiger Raptor. And imagine his courage is 5. Dinobot, his courage is 5, but again, but yet when he's robot mode, his courage is 9. I guess, yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. You know, even if he's fighting a clone of himself. Spoiler. People who haven't seen that. How come we get leaks of toys but nothing of card art? Because people care more about the toys than the thing that goes in the recycling bin, I guess, which is kind of sad. Not to mention, like, card backs are kind of a lost art now because we get nice card art still, but there's no more tech specs, there's no more bios, you know. It's kind of a lost thing, unfortunately. Thanks for the content. Awesome stuff. It's a daily pleasure watching your vids. Thank you. Thank you so much, Howlett. I try my best to make a podcast that is daily for people to consume to keep themselves entertained in these boring times that we live in today. We got Rhinox with his mutant head covered. Well, actually, that is his mutant head covering because it's actually the mohawk under that. And then what was going to be a spinning boa weapon, which ended up becoming the chain gun of doom is the nickname that we called it. And he never had his sword, never used it in the show. And then the unfortunately extinct, as of this recording, Black Rhino, which is unfortunate. Rhinox is no longer with us. The terrible poaching that exists in the world today. His intelligence is 6 or 3. Clearly wasn't fleshed out yet in time for the show. Where are we at here? I haven't figured out who the new Ark is supposed to be. You'll figure it out. I put a few hints everywhere. You gotta pay attention to all my forms of media. But yeah. Sounds far-fetched at this point, but do you think Hasbro will redeco combiner teams and have select like Raiden and the Japanese G1 continuity? If you're going to get Japanese stuff, it'll probably be Hasbro. So it'll be Takara Generation Selects from the Takara Mall website. And I mean, we have that teaser that we had with the Grimlock mold, so we'll see what comes with that one in the future. Is it Dino King? Is it something else? A Monstructor? A G2 color? We shall see. We shall see. The Bird Lady, Air Razor, looking pretty with her claw weapon. Shoot, shoot. Pretty awesome. And then the hawk that she is. She stoops to conquer. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What's her speed on this? Speed is 7. She's faster in robot mode than she is in alt mode, which is weird because in the show she did the opposite. She had to go into alt mode to like hit supersonic speed. It's pretty cool. If you could have a new character show up in the Kingdom toy line, is there a particular animal alt mode you would like to see? I've always said that Beast Wars was, and it's not that it's a personal thing that I like, but I've noticed that like Beast Wars was just completely absent on like fish stuff. Like you had Cyber Shark, and then you had Cyber Shark, Transmetal 2. And really, if you count like, you know, Orkanok, the playset, which was a, the Microverse playset, that was a Killer Whale, and then you have Torka, the half Fusor. There really wasn't, you know, and then the same thing, Injector, the Piranha. But, I mean, the way that I see it, it's like we never had any just solid water creatures. Oh, and of course, you know, Depth Charge, the Manta Ray. But there just wasn't enough. There just wasn't enough. I would have liked more. Like, where was, like, our decent whales? Where was, like, our like, a really good, you know, like, shark or something like that? Or even an angelfish. Imagine, like, an angelfish that's, like, a female character. Wouldn't that have been cool? Optimus Prime, what's up? What's up, what's up, what's up? You know? Someone said a barracuda. As a barracuda. As it could have been a transmetal. Could have been a barracuda that transforms into a barracuda. That would have been good. Seaweed alt modes. That would have been the debut of Botanica as her underwater mode, you know? Let's go to the king, Optimus Primal. That's his box art there. And then get a load of this one. Look at this. Alt mode art. That's what they were going to go with. Imagine. Oh, man. It's a lot harder than what we're used to in the show. Pretty angry, this one. Well, that's just effing prime. Injector was a bee or a wasp and a piranha. It's like half fish, pretty much. Probably one of the ugliest Beast Wars toys. Definitely up there. Definitely one of the ugliest. Definitely one of the vampire squid. I mean, there's like so many cool ones. It's true, yeah. And the squid, I keep calling him by his Japanese name, Scuba, but Clawjaw. There you go. Where am I at here? Sorry, guys, if I miss a question, just like ask again, because sometimes it scrolls too quickly. Do you think Beast Wars would have its own trilogy as opposed to the back end of one? If the success is there. If the success is there, it could spark a whole new thing. Hey man, if Kingdom comes out and those 90s kids just get nostalgic and just bum rush that line, who knows? I mean, that Blackarachnia is stellar. You know? That Blackarachnia is stellar. Tigatron with his mutant head, looking like Greedo from Star Wars. But you know what's even more crazy? Is the coloring of his alt mode. It's almost like he was going to be that orangey tiger. It's kind of like half-half. It's in between the cream and the orange. So almost. Tigatron. Tigatron shot first. Yeah, he did, actually. Fun fact. whenever Tigatron has his gut gun and he's in the same scene with Cheetor, Cheetor will use the tail gun or vice versa. They never share the same gun in the same scene. I don't know why it is, but that's just how it is. We have a super chat from Common Pikachu. How far in advance does Hasbro plan their Transformer lines? 2 years. 2 years, usually. But obviously, if something is doing very badly, they'll just kick it out from under and then move the stuff around. Best example was like the movie line. The movie line, they didn't know if it was going to do well or not. So when it did do well in 2007, they were like, oh man, we need more movie product ASAP. And so they had a couple of classics toys that were supposed to come out, like what was supposed to be the Fracture, and what was the other ones? I think it was Dive Bomb. It was like 4 repaints of Cybertron toys, and one of them was a repaint of a classics toy of Mirage. Those were supposed to be classics toys. Instead, they made them Walmart exclusive movie toys because they just needed to fill out the product. I think one of them was supposed to be Getaway. Like there was a, they had to change everything. They just slapped together new packaging, all because the movie line was way more popular than they thought it was going to be. Again, they were playing it safe. They didn't know how the movie line was going to be. They did not know, my friend. They did not know. Where's our Cykill homage? Yeah, seriously. I want more GoBot stuff. And last but not least of the Maximals, we got the man himself, Cheetor. Oh yeah, with his gut gun. Look at the way that the art is done. I love that. Love that art. I want this art in high res. And of course, the cheetah mode. Here, we'll put it next to his big cat, to little cat. Look at that. Isn't that cool? But of course, they couldn't share the same face, so one of them had to have the mutant head. Cray Cray. Awesome. Awesome. Jolt, Grindor, Breakaway, Dive Bomb, Crasher, Fracture. Yeah, all of those. Thank you, Nick. All of those were supposed to be classics toys. And then they're like, oh my god, movie line doing too good. Gotta roll out some product. Now we're gonna do the Predacons. Let's start with the Lady of the Hour. First we'll answer some questions. What do we got here? What do you think of the Mastermind Creation Getaway reveal a few days ago? Hey man, that mold's amazing to begin with. I have every version of that mold. I probably will maybe pick it up. Maybe, see, part of me wants to wait a little bit because I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem to get in the future. But I don't know. It's something where do I want to put my money into it? Because Getaway, the character, it's like I liked the mold when it was Lightfoot and Master Force, but the character and IDW and stuff, it resonates with some people. It didn't resonate so much with me. I really like more of the Master Force interpretation of that character, of that not that design though. So, but I really love that mold. That Rodimus mold is just, chef's. And we got, just popped up on the screen there. We got another super chat question from Downright Superb, because he's downright superb. Hypothetically, if the Kingdom toy line is a complete failure, would a Beast Wars movie get scrapped? Movies in productions get canceled a lot. Of course, this is Hasbro sticking their toe in the variable, tub and going, is the water warm? Is this good? So it's something that if it is a complete crash and burn, why would they then want to put a multi-million-dollar movie, toy line, licensing, packaging, fast food deals, everything that's associated with any single Transformer movie done by Hasbro? Why would they put all those eggs in that basket if the toy line didn't work well as a test? Think about it. Classics came out before we got the 2007 movie. And Classics was using all these characters based in the movieverse. Classics gave us the return to our first Bumblebee toy. In America, at least. Not counting reissues in Japan. So, it's the same thing. You got to test them out. Give them a little taste. Little taste. You want a little bite? Little bite. Little bite of the cake. You like it? Here's the whole thing. And that's what's going to happen. So we're going to start with Blackarachnia. Look at that. So fun fact about Blackarachnia's box art. She has a studded collar. It's kind of hard to see there. She has a studded collar around her neck. And very interesting design, so to speak. And obviously her toy does not look like that at all. But interesting is that she still looks exactly like her show model with the gold boobs on top of the head there. Very interesting, that one. And courage is her #1 attribute for the card game. Very nice. Very nice, Spider Lady. Dark poison of my heart. What about Silverbolt? How will they differentiate aerial bots to Maximals? They've done it for years. They've always accepted that there's a Silverbolt here and a Silverbolt there, a Dinobot here, a Dinobot there. Look, they're going to be literally going into our first wave or our second wave of Kingdom, and we're going to have a character called Dinobot, you know? Same thing, we had a character called Insecticon. We had a character called Scorponok. So they're just, they know. They know that Transformer fans know. They don't have to be educated. The 90s fans, they know what they know of the 90s. The G1 fans, they absorb everything. You know, so they will be good in the hood. And speaking of Scorponok, here he is. With his mutant head opened up, showing his show-accurate face under it, his Cyber Bee that would play a big part in the show, and one of the best episodes, Guerrilla Warfare from Season 1. And interestingly enough, look at this. So picture this. This is his card art for his robot mode, and then he has a very quick strike colored card art for the alt mode, or alternatively could be even maybe some of the card art that would have been, you know, the coloring that would have been used for the Sandstorm repaint for BotCon, Double Punch. Very interesting, this one. Very interesting. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. And he is, firepower is his #1 thing. I would think so. That Cyber Bee does some major damage, and his missiles. How about the Omnibots for Pulse exclusives? Well, here's the thing that you have to understand with all the Pulse stuff. It's all been repaints and retools, with the exception, obviously, of Unicron. So if you would want Omnibots, are you willing to accept to have Omnibots that are just repaints or retools of something instead of like original molds that have that third mode done proper? You know, give it a good chance. So that's something that you have to consider too. That's something you got to really consider also. Much like Waspinator. Got good old Waspinator. The most indestructible, powerful Transformer of all time. He can't die. And then what's crazy, again, this is where they messed up again. Get a load of his very Buzzsaw looking color scheme there. Actually, is Buzzsaw in here? I'm going to have to check. I think Buzzsaw is in here. Because if he is, then maybe they got the... Oh, no, they didn't. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to actually move Buzzsaw up. So this is Waspinator. Obviously, the greens are just not really working well here. So then we have Buzzsaw, his repaint brother, which obviously, I'm going to bring them both in here. Obviously, Waspinator uses the mutant head. Buzzsaw used the normal head. And that's that. But here's where it gets confusing. Which one is Buzzsaw and which one is Waspinator? Isn't that weird? Like, obviously, like, Waspinator has a little more green on the body there. But wow, they really, I don't know about the art there. They really kind of just phoned it in a little bit. Kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Looks kind of, it's almost the same. Just like the wings are just a little bit of a different color. And the wings on Buzzsaw is green. Interesting. Never noticed that before. Never noticed that before. You got the spin-out Cordon 2-pack. And a prime example of what Pulse is for. The repaints. Has Takara do some we make over the old Beast Wars McDonald's toys? Would you like to see Panther used with the Cheetor? Well, let's put it this way. I was part of the BotCon box set that brought us under 3. Ages 3. Under 3. Whatever you want to call them. I would love to see those McDonald's ones updated. I love those McDonald's toys. Specifically Manta Ray, you know, Panther, Rhino. Rhino would be the most boring because he really is close to Rhinox, and Panther is very close to Cheetor. And there has been fiction trying to explain some of those guys, like Ravage's dad was that mold and stuff like that in the manga. It gets pretty complicated. On the TF Wiki, I saw that the Unicron figure with the Galvatron minifig, would there be on? I guess you're referring to the Hasbro Pulse figure that is going to come with both a little mini figure of both Galvatron and Hot Rod / Rodimus. We'll cover that when that comes in the mail. But that's a whole other story like Inferno. They got awesome Inferno here. I love him. That was a late addition to the Series 3 toy line. Had to go to the States to EB Games to pick to KB Toys to pick him up. Pretty cool and very toy accurate looking art here. At least they were pretty on the nose with that one. One of the best powerful characters. Another one that you just can't kill no matter how hard you try. Who is your favorite wrecker? Ooh. I don't know. Roadbuster's pretty cool because I like his Japanese origins from the anime side of things with Dugram. I'd have to say Roadbuster. I like Roadbuster, but I like Whirl too. Whirl's another cool one. You know, Springer's always a go-to character. Sandstorm is kind of boring, but I'd have to go with Roadbuster. I like Roadbuster. Really cool character. But yeah, let's talk about the shelf warmer of Transketo. He was probably one of the very first Transformer shelf warmers of the modern era. He had a lot of difficulty being sold, and he kicked around for years and years. He's not a terrible toy, but he's not exactly an amazing toy for his mega price point, which was a Voyager back then. So, and then his art. His art is not that good. It doesn't even look like the toy, honestly, the art here. Doesn't even look. Did I see someone ask about the King? Opinion of Jack Kirby. I love Jack Kirby. I love him a lot, especially considering that he was behind one of my favorite Marvel superheroes, Silver Surfer. I love Silver Surfer books. Jack Kirby, when it comes to drawing Cosmic Universe stuff. If you actually go on my Instagram and you scroll down, they did a toy line called Lord of the Light, which was all this like Jack Kirby stuff that never got revealed, and I bought a bunch of those, and I kind of like took photos of it because I love Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby is it's like his name. He's the king. He is the best at what he does. And what he does is nice, as opposed to not very nice. And then we got the ever awesome Snappa. Snappa! I love this mold. A turtle transformer, but a snapping turtle transformer. And it's cool because you could store his weapon in the back even in robot mode. And he's like a super heavy retool of Armadillo, too. So like that was like one of the first heavy retools, like heavy retool. Snappa or Snapper. I call him Snappa. Snapper. Love him. Love him. Love him. Great toy. I wish they did more repaints of that one. They did like a slight repaint with Japan, but they should have done something really cool. Let's see. Let me scroll up a little bit. How many Beast Wars figures do you got? All of them, except for like one or two rare, weird variant exclusives, pretty much. And that includes all around the world. The Trader. They could have called him Starscream, but it's Pterosaur. With his big wings and his purple, which was nowhere on him in the show. All that purple would have been red in the show. And his green spots, which is even more predominant on that very, very, very kaiju-looking art. I love that. Looks gorgeous. Looks gorgeous. Yeah. Nick... he needs more than anybody to get an updated toy. He needs one desperately. He had such a low price point toy, and considering how predominant he was used in Season 1, he's going to get something for sure. Faux show. Faux show. Predacon Rodan. More, pretty much. Pretty much. And then we got another heavy retool. We got Igneous. Taking a trademark from the old Pretender Shell days of Decepticons. He was a retool of the Croc Megatron, so he could also kind of store his gun on the back and use it. And then his Almost looks like, what was that dinosaur from Jurassic Park there? That killed Newman from Seinfeld. Love that. Really cool. Another great toy. Really great toy. I think he was called Crazy Bolt in the Japanese version. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Terrible. But, yeah. Do you have Beast Wars Antagony? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. The Bakhan stuff I more or less took care of years ago because I knew that stuff was going to be headaches. And I think of the Bakhan stuff, the only one I'm missing is one of the Japanese variants, Barbarian, or whatever they call them. I think they call them, no, not Survive. Survive was the main release. Barbarian was the Japanese one. Aptly named, trademark save, Insecticon. Love this mold. This is a really cool mold. I love the way he stores his weapon and how it connects and it makes like a bow weapon. Really cool character. Kind of like an evolution of that McDonald's one that was Beetle. It's kind of very similar to him. I almost feel like you could have repainted this as Beetle and it could just be like an updated version of it. And again, that cool, looks nothing like the toy. Toy didn't have any of those browns or those blues in those areas. But yeah, really cool. Really cool. I love this toy. Love that toy. Did we ever get a Transmetal 2 Scorponok toy? Unfortunately not. We had a Transmetal 1 through McDonald's, but we never got a Transmetal 2. That was a character that unfortunately was phased out. And I think that the glowing in the lava and stuff like you're mentioning with Pterosaur and him was probably just the writers a way out if they wanted to use those characters in the future, but they never got used. And I mean, there's supplemental material that kind of covers that. Like, oh, Pterosaur came back like this because of supplemental material with the 3H comics. And Benson Yee wrote a bio explaining what the Transmetal McDonald's Scorponok is and what's the story with that. So it's out there. It's out there if you look for it, if you want to get like a little bit of history. Do you think Sue Blue was bummed out that she didn't even get a G1 toy of RC? Guys, you got to understand, Derek Wyatt designed all of Transformers Animated. They never sent him a single thing. He had to go. I remember he came to TFCon one year, and he was like, does anyone have Cliff Jumper? Animated Cliff Jumper? And we're like, well, they don't send you anything? He's like, they don't send me nothing. So if you think voice actors aren't going to get anything, and they're just voicing, imagine designers who design the designs. They don't get anything either. Kind of sad. Kind of sad. But not as sad as Tarantulas. Look at that. Definitely doesn't look the colors like he was. A lot more purples in the show. A lot of bronze there and everything. Even the toy has more purples. At least the toy kind of tried, but the art almost looks like Blackarachnia. Kind of crazy, eh? Isn't that crazy? Yeah! I can't do his voice. With Alex Willows, who's his voice actor, does a great job. Easily, without a doubt, one of the most spryest old guys I have ever met in my life. He's got to be, I don't know how old is he? He's got to be like, and no offense to Alex, but I think he's got to be like 85. And he dresses like Justin Bieber and lives a young life, let me tell you. Really cool guy. Really cool dude. We went out for German food with him once. Really cool. Do you think Hasbro will modernize the Transmetal figures like they're doing with Kingdom? If this stuff is successful, they'll move on to Kingdom, to a sequel to Kingdom, and do Season 2 stuff. Alex is a gem of a guy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I got the Telemocha version, and man, it's going to be hard to beat. Yep, I got them all too. It's kind of hard to see. I have all the Telemocha stuff back there. Like the Telemocha Blackarachnia. So much paint. Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat, but I think they will. That Blackarachnia, if you saw my Twitter, really knocked it out of the park. Kind of like the best Beast Wars or Transformers villain of all time. Megatron-sama. Isn't that gorgeous? Megatron and Barney the dinosaur. He's happy to see you and so much more. That should be like all 9s. Intelligence 9, everything 9. I also got all the 10s there. Even better. His intelligence is the lowest one. That's terrible, considering he's like easily the 3D chess smartest guy of the Transformer universe. Easily. That's it for the trading card game characters. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And then you got these are the battle cards, which are pretty much nondescript shapes and symbols, unfortunately. Hey Danny, do you have any toy or action figure that you treasure the most that is not part of your Transformer collection? Well, I'm a big collector of a lot of other toy lines. That's the thing. Like, what you're seeing around you is just the tip of the iceberg. On the other floors in this house, I have, like, other toy lines I collect. What would it be? Probably maybe my first Ninja Turtle toys as a kid. I treasure those heavily. I keep those actually in a separate box from my actual Turtles collection. Like, I lost some of those turtles just through sandbox adventures, where I never lost any of my Transformers. They just got kind of beat up throughout the years, the ones I grew up with as a kid. Obviously, like any video game stuff. Super Mario figures, some of my very first Mario figures that were like little PVC figures by Esso. All of that kind of stuff. Absolutely love it. Do you think they just wanted to make Barney evil? A diabolic? Maybe. Definitely the choice of purple was intentional because of Barney the dinosaur. And knowing Mainframe, how twisted their humor was back then, it does not surprise me. It does not surprise me at all. Do you think Transformers is more popular in Western countries or Japan? Different times. I think that, 1984, 1985, Transformers was easily way more popular than it was in Japan. When Japan got it in 1985, 1986, they really started embracing it. And then by 1987, when America was falling out with Transformers, Japan embraced it even more, and it was super strong in 87, 88, 89, 90. And it wasn't until like the 90s that it kind of dipped. And then same thing with we had like Action Masters at that point, Micro Masters. It dipped heavily for us too. G2 didn't work well on either side of the ocean. I know that Japan didn't care much for G2, and they created all kinds of unique fiction for it also. Then Beast Wars. Beast Wars was gangbuster success over here. Japan loved it too, that they made their own series because they didn't want to wait. There was not going to be reruns. Beast Wars 2nd, Beast Wars Neo, and then Beast Wars Metals, which was season 2 and 3 fused together. I like to believe that the higher paying market today is more so in Japan, but at the same time, it's just as strong in America. It's just Japan doesn't have the population that like North America has, like Canada and the USA together. Not to mention if you want to count Europe too, like the Western English-speaking Transformer fans and the product that they're used to getting in their stores as opposed to what Japan gets. And then, of course, now China's kind of overlapping all of that. So, would you say getting a G1 Star Saber with his box and inserts worth $400? Yeah, $500 is actually a very good price. That's actually way below what the standard is right now for a mint in box complete G1 Star Saber. But I mean, it's not the best version. I would still get the Masterpiece. The Masterpiece is amazing, but if you want to own a piece of Transformer history, that old Brainmaster Star Saber is awesome. Love that. That toy I got while I was still in high school. That was one of the very first things I bought off of eBay. It wasn't the first thing, but it was one of the very first things. First thing I ever bought off of eBay was a Headmaster's Chrome Dome, 100% complete. And then I bought a Protoman model kit from Bandai, from Mega Man. And then I think like my fourth or fifth purchase was Star Saber. That was like 1997, 1998. More than 20 years ago. What are your thoughts on Japan coming down the dub for Beast Wars and Prime? Well, that actually fell onto the dubbing director that they got. That guy that they hired in Japan was known for doing tongue-in-cheek kind of humor. He was also responsible for the dub of the X-Men cartoon that we had in America in the 90s. I forget what the name of that guy was, but he's like infamous in Japan for dubbing American material and making it more, humorous. And he does that with a lot of like American live action movies and everything. It's kind of like how, sometimes people take Like the best example was Power Rangers at one point. It was going to be imported over here and it was going to be a dub of the Japanese version, but with more of a comical nature. I think it was Dynaman they were going to bring over. And there's a few episodes of that are kicking around online of that first dub. Plasticon, what's up? What's up? What's up? What do you think we will get a Nemesis ship? Well, I think so. Will it turn into Tripticon? That I don't think so. I think they'll try to do something new. That's what I definitely think they'll do for sure. For sure. I'm going to put away the card game. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff, the card game. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. With the battle cards and Dinobot skin. I always felt it was Dinobot skin. This was always Dinobot's eye. It was always Dinobot skin for the TCG Beast Wars card game. And all the box art. Was it Nick and I? There was like Night Flight. I remember in Dynaman was like something like that. Dinobot's foreskin. No, I don't think so. It'd be a whole different kind of Choppa face. Since you know your cars, please tell us, could Motormaster actually catch Wheeljack and run him down? Hell no. Wheeljack is a Lancia Rally GT. Like, first of all, of the original 1984 Autobots, he's in the top 3. Like, Mirage would be number 1 because he's the Ligier Formula 1, aka Formula 3. Then you got Jazz, which is that Porsche GT 911, Martini, which would probably be almost a little bit of a tie with Wheeljack. I'd give Jazz just a little bit more of the edge because that Porsche probably has a crazy V6 instead of just a standard V4 that a Porsche might have. But man, that Lancia, please, Motormaster wouldn't stand a chance. Wouldn't be able to keep up with him at all. Like some of those other Stunticons would have a better chance. Like Wild Rider, Dead End, that's another Porsche. Dead End, which is the Porsche 922, I want to think, because he has the flat lights, if I remember correctly. Like, not Motormaster. No. No way. No way, sir. No way, Bob. Do you think we will get a victory ship? I don't think so. Not for a while. Not for a while. You think it could be likely that the bigger characters like Depth Charge and Rampage will be commander figures for Kingdom? We shall see what's coming for Kingdom. Maybe it's not Beast Wars. Do you consider Dinobot the face of Beast Wars? I don't consider him the face of Beast Wars, but he's definitely like the top 3 character in the show. If you're talking like, if you went to like a casual person who really liked Beast Wars as a kid and you asked them who was really the face of the brand, I would say Cheetor. But obviously like hardcore fans and people who really enjoy Beast Wars, Dinobot really is up there. But Cheetor, you can't deny where his place was and all of that. You really can't. Especially moving on with Beast Machines. Love or hate Beast Machines, but updated Deluxe Insecticons. That's a tough one. That's something that Hasbro has been playing with a little bit, but never pulled the trigger. Would a Tarantulas remold be a Kingdom or Generation? No, they would do it mainline. Tarantulas would never be something limited like Generation Selects. They would put them in mainline. They would do a, weird colored Halloween edition, which was a thing. Halloween, Blackarachnia. I think it was called the Halloween Horicons was the full name of it. Like you'd see that as a Generation Selects before you'd see Tarantulas. Commander is supposed to be Rodimus. Maybe. Perhaps. Maybe he's not that leader class. Mutant Rodimus, as they call him. I think we'll see any Beast Pretenders in Kingdom. I wish they came back to these guys. These little decoy things. I loved these so much. I bought so many of them. I bought doubles and triples of them just so they sell out, and they still clogged the shelves. and that's why I didn't continue. Protoman, do you think animators of G1 cartoon, when they did Astrotrain, thought he would turn into a British 9F rather than a Japanese? Well, the locomotive thing, well, you have to understand Astrotrain was originally a Diaclone toy. So I don't think it has anything to do with the animators. I think they were just kind of looking at the Diaclone toy and just whoever was animating, if it was a Toei episode, an ACOM episode, or if it was something in their Korea studios with Sunbow, you have these 3 different animation studios. So it really depends on the episode that you're referring to. Because look at the 86 movie. 86 movie, which was Toei, nailed it with the toy model. And same thing with the intro for season 2. But then some of the others might not be like that. What if Kingdom leads into a T-Beasts instead? I could see that. For people that understand what Nick is asking, T-Beasts was this fan doujinshi that, beast interpretations of G1 characters. I really think it's going to probably lead to that. I think that we're going to get some Beast Wars characters that are G1 characters getting their Beast Wars interpretations. Like you mentioned, like a Rodimus Primal. Long overdue for a Rodimus Primal after all these years. Do you think we'll get a new Beast Wars video game at some point? I hope so. I hope so. Beast Wars had a few good games, though. Had a few stinkers, but it had a few good games, too. Fighting game for PlayStation 1 was pretty fun. The fighting game for the Game Boy Color was very fun. Obviously, that very first Beast Wars game that had a PC port also, that first one, Beast Wars, was terrible. It wasn't even voiced by the original voice actors. Titan Class Grandis, as much as I would like that, I don't think so. Not yet. Too obscure for the Western audience. I love Grandis, but too obscure. What animal would a Rodimus Primal be? See, Hot Rod, it's a lot more easy to say something that's very, flaming, like something like a phoenix, or alternatively, you could do something like a lion with Hot Rod. Rodimus Primal, then I fall more into like him being like an ape, like Primal. Maybe just a different kind of ape, like some kind of red silverback, or just something else, some kind of other gorilla, or something like a mandrill, like Baboom. Just like how you have like trailers and trucks for Autobot leaders. You have simians and and apes for Maximal leaders. But then again, you have Lio Convoy and you have Big Convoy that are not the case. So Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. Want to learn more about that, that's for sure. Do you have any Studio Series figures? I have a lot of them. A lot of them. And they are not worth it, I think, to pay full price. A lot of them I find, especially like even some of the newer ones now, the QC is going down a little bit on some of these. A lot of them are getting very loose now. They're just, I almost feel like they're going to probably start phasing out ball joints because ball joints just don't work. Ball joints and mushroom joints do not work on SABS plastic. It works with ABS plastic. This was ABS plastic. Look at that. Look at that. I can hold it from just its foot like this, and it holds. ABS plastic. SABS plastic. Okay? Holds. Barely. Just barely. Look at it. Flops. Doesn't flop. Holds together. That's the problem. Hasbro's got to stop cheaping out on the plastic that's being used, and as time progresses, I worry that it's going to get worse. I really worry about that. Kingdom Ultra Mammoth. Oh, that'd be a really cool one. I love that color scheme. Especially the color of the Matrix on that was really cool. It's weird that Gigawatt doesn't come with a DMC logo on the vehicle mode. Probably a licensing thing. Maybe the DMC thing is related to the lawsuit that John DeLorean had all those years ago. I don't know the specifics on that one from a business level. Even you got him 40% off. Well, if you got him 40% off, then I guess he's worth it. But to pay full price, I don't know. That's where I would. That was a tough pill to swallow for me. Because you know, not feeling that at all. Would you think Machine Wars would become an exclusive line? I would love to see Machine Wars come back just because it's such a short line. And because it's such a short line, it would be so easy to do. I really feel that BotCon kind of missed an opportunity. They could have done a really good box set, but I wasn't part of BotCon back then when they did that. I think it was 2000. What year was that? I'm looking at all the box sets now. That would be 2013, I think, or 14. But I think that was a missed opportunity to do that well. I was always saying, like, they could have taken just those centerpieces of the power core combiners, and they could have done the jets and the trucks and everything. And same thing, they could have taken Leadfoot for power core combiners. And then for the bigger guys, then they could have, you know, been more lenient and take some of that classics molds and stuff like that and make a really good box set. Really good box. You could have had everything in one shot. But we ended up with a Machine Wars year that had Seeker Jets, Beast Machines characters, you know. Again, I'm not criticizing Jesse and the crew who picked those, but I'm just saying I would have done it a little different. I would have done it different. Where are we at here? Any chance Gary Chalk could reprise his role with... Well, here's the problem. If Gary Chalk is going to be under a union voice acting, then he won't be able to do anything with Netflix. So Gary, who's a very proud man, I love you, Gary, but Gary is probably not going to give up his union to voice Primal. I think he would rather force Netflix to allow union voice actors, and then we'd get that. Maybe if we could get a groundswell together, you know, get a bunch of fans together to ask for Gary, just like how, you know, we got, you know, Peter Cullen for Optimus, when Michael Bay and all of them didn't really care about getting Peter. So who knows if you could get enough fans together, you know, Chalk for, you know, Primal, K for Megatron, you know, some kind of crazy hashtag. Updated Thunder Clash would be cool. The thing is, there's so many third-party Thunder Clashes that whatever an updated Thunder Clash would have to be like a really good update. Really good update. We didn't do any more art on the inside. No, unfortunately. No other art, just this. Terrible. So much nice art in this. Do you think Siege Netflix Magnus is worth it? Not really. If it's on sale, yeah. I mean, we all saw how important that Battlefield rung was to the show. I like that someone speculated, and it was an interesting speculation. Someone said to me that Battlefield rung was supposed to be like a stand-in for Alpha Trion scene for anyone that hasn't seen the Siege series at this point. You know, that could have been a stand-in for Alpha Trion, which then they should have just put some kind of Alpha Trion in there. Wouldn't that have been better? Because, you know, like he dies and then Bumblebee sees Alpha Trion, so it's kind of all connected there. But no, Netflix, here's how it works. Not shows that are on Netflix. All Netflix original creations done through Netflix's finances and everything use non-union voice actors. Non-union voice actors is guys like you and me. Hey, who asked the question? Hey, Eddie Powell, do you want to do Sideswipe? Okay, easy. They put you in the studio, they give you a paycheck, and you're on your way. No union, no nothing. So it's a whole other animal. And those non-union voice actors, they're guys just like you and me. No offense to them. Some of them are very talented. Some of them are... yeah. Some of them are... me and you could do some of those roles. But the point is that Gary would have to either drop himself being part of the voice actors union, which has a long name. It's like SAG, or they adopt union voice actors. It's one or the other. Protoman, think Beast Wars Megatron would have trouble matching wits with the 7th Doctor. I'm not a big Doctor Who guy. I watched the original one as a kid, and when I say the original, people are like, "Which one?" Whatever was the one in the late '80s. I used to watch that as a kid, and I'm sorry to say this, as a kid, I thought it was kind of goofy. Like, you know, it's like I would be able to watch 1966 Batman and accept that for what it is, but I never forgot, like, there was like this Minotaur character that came out and went, "Rrr," and I was just like, really? Like, they're scared of this guy. I don't know. I think that at that same time, here's me watching, you know, Star Trek, The Next Generation was just starting, Star Wars. I was watching the old movies, and then you have The Doctor. It just didn't do it for me. Just didn't do it for me personally. I've never really been big into Doctor Who. Never really been big into it. Some of them are your YouTube prank channels. Ooh, I don't know the story with that. Could be the pink electricity that was used on. Pat the Knight says, I thought Battlefield Rung's figure was a stand-in to represent the pink electricity Shockwave used on Magnus. I guess? But why didn't they just use, like, you know, just the electricity pieces instead of including, like, the whole figure and everything? Like, just include, instead of including the whole figure, why not just include then 4 pieces of this or something? I don't know. And make it $5 cheaper or $10 cheaper. Would you say Beast Wars Megatron is the Sephiroth of Transformers? Beast Wars Megatron is the comic book Jim Starlin Thanos of Transformers. Anyone that's read Thanos, like Thanos Quest specifically by Jim Starlin, which was like how he got the Infinity Gauntlet in the comics, or the Infinity Gauntlet 6-issue miniseries. Was it 6 or 8? It was 6. No, was it 8? Oh my god. It was 6, I think. You know, that is Beast Wars Megatron. 200%. The way he was in the movie was a little different, a little more hard edge, less cerebral. There's some moments, but I've always made those parallels. Thanos, comic book Thanos, Beast Wars Megatron, megalomaniacs, purple, and just only thinking about themselves. You know, Protomen, you must have seen something from the Tom Baker era. Yes, okay. Tom Baker was the one with the frizzy hair, right? Like kind of like a I don't want to say a fro. The one with the Minotaur was from a serial, Horns of Nimon. It's one of the classic series best. Oh, okay. That was literally, Ray, one of my first memories of Doctor Who. Was watching that episode with my sister, and I just remember like it goes rah from off camera, and they're like freaking out, and it was just me like going, known for his huge scarf. I don't remember the scarf. And I just remember me going like, wow, what a crappy outfit, you know? Like, is this supposed to be scary? And I think at the time I must have been like, I want to say 6 years old, 7 years old. I don't know. There's your answer. Jim Starlin should write Netflix. Oh my God, I would love Jim Starlin, Chris Claremont, Frank Miller. You know, some of my favorite comic book writers of all time. I got to meet 2 of them in person, but man, Jim would do a great job. Jim would do an amazing job because he's really good at writing dialogue. So like something that, you know, one thing that Siege series needed was really good dialogue. Jim is really good at dialogue. So man, that'd be really good. Do you buy upgrade kits for your figures? When it's a really good kit. When third party first rolled out upgrade kits with like City Commander, Protector, Shadow Scyther, and the most rarest of them all, which let me get it for you guys. Hold on. The classics. Open up, suck it. One of the very first upgrade kits. Be a piece of history, guys. So, one of the very first upgrade kits, long before third party was a thing, was these were the Binaltech Arming. These were available at Wonder Festival in, I want to say, 2003. Here, I'll open it up for you guys. Some rare stuff from the Protoman archive today. And it pretty much was some lightsabers, a missile launcher, so you could have a missile launcher on your Subaru characters, and then a recast of the Energon Star Saber, Energon Saber, whatever you want to call it. And these were the very first third-party upgrade kits. And they were used for your alternators. This is long before there was such a thing as classics. And yeah. But then, of course, you know, Fans Project came on the scene and revealed their one of 300 made. And this was Classics Cliff, the upgrade kit to make your cliff jumper. I have number 213 of 300. This was Fans Project's first job, first thing they ever did, the classic conversion kit. This was originally available through TF Club, the Hong Kong Club, and TF Lab back in the day. And that was the only way you were able to get it. And by the time people even realized this was a thing, they were all sold out and gone. And then City Commander came on the scene and made that way more popular. Yeah, I posted a video with an Ark and a other figure. And let people fight about what that answer is. Thanos and Adam Warlock chatting are some of my favorite scenes. Man, anyone who's watched Infinity War, if you really liked Infinity War, I'm telling you guys, go back. Find it online, buy the trades, whatever. However you could enjoy it. Go read Thanos Quest and Infinity Gauntlet 1 to 6. And you're going to really appreciate that character a lot more. And you'll get to enjoy the awesomeness that is the writing of Jim Starlin. Sorry, this packaging is too crispy new. And more than 20 years ago. Actually, no, not 20 years ago. 17 years ago. Imagine if the Ark is another HasLab project. Nah. Transformers and HasLab are going to have a interesting relationship in the future, and it's not going to be the same thing as you guys think. Thank you, Unicron. There's an upgrade kit with Starscream's crown, cape, and shoulder pads that works with your Masterpiece Starscream. I have something even better. I'll go get that. Let me just put these away. Put these away. I have that same upgrade kit, but for classics. I love it. Little crown, the cape, for the classics version. I used to buy a lot of third-party upgrade stuff because at that time, I didn't know where Hasbro's head was in the game. You know, I didn't know that they would want to do this kind of stuff. And of course, we get a Masterpiece later that would do all of that and everything. But back then, it was a different animal. And so I really got a lot of third-party stuff. But then, as I start to get to know people at Hasbro and start talking to them, they started to recognize where they needed to also start gravitating. So, whole different world. The Infinity Gauntlet was one of the few comic events that was actually awesome and worth enduring. Damn right. Especially if you get the omnibus. If you buy the omnibus, you get all the other books that were surrounding that story. The death of Captain Marvel was ballin'. Yeah. Good old Marvel. Best thing Hasbro said about HasLab's plans is less expensive, more obscure stuff. Let's hope it sells if it's obscure. That's the question. If an orange bot is rung and we call a red version rang, should we call the yellow version ring? Maybe. If it's brown, do we call it dung instead of rung? Definitely need that cape and crown for Earthrise Starscream. By the way, today is Nick Roche's birthday. Just want to call attention to that. Happy birthday, Nick! You did a really good last stand of the Wreckers. And pretty swell guy. Pretty swell dude. I think I only met him twice. At TFCon 2017 and one of the BotCons in the past. But last stand of the Wreckers. Darn good book. A lot of toys that I had as a kid getting fleshed out. So a lot of those UK toys came out in Canada. How's my day been? My day's been pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty busy because of the news and everything that was popping up, but pretty good. Let's give her the tarantulas head. There we go. Whoa, look at that. That is not show accurate at all, eh? Protomen, think the Red series would be perfect for action masters and characters design that are hard to make transformable figures out of. Well, I think that number one, I don't think there's anything that's really impossible to make transformable figures out of anymore as long as the budget is there. And people comparing RED to Action Masters it's not like there was a line that Japan did called the Mega SCF PVC line. It's a lot more in line with that. It's kind of like what Revoltech did, even obviously without the crazy articulation. So I mean, Action Masters still had a transforming element to them. It was just the accessories. You know, they still tried to have, you know, transforming accessory, transforming vehicles. This is just a PVC line. A glorified PVC line using the Black Series, Marvel Legends kind of thing, targeted at a more casual audience, not really targeted at us. And the sad truth is that for the price of one RED Optimus Prime, you could get a Voyager scale toy that has way more parts, way more paint, and is bigger. So we're going to see how that line goes. It might die on release. It might not get very far. So we'll see how that does. They could be just testing the water and nothing might not go with it. Hey Protoman, hope all is well. Did you order the new kit with Ironhide and Prowl, and did you get it yet? I didn't order Ironhide and Prowl yet. I'm going to wait it out. Obviously, Amazon Canada is a little different. We usually get deals if you wait out stuff. Stuff doesn't sell out as much. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hope the RED line does super obscure characters. I hope so too, but I don't think it will. I think they're going to play it safe, and they're going to do... If they're going to do like Transformers Prime, they're going to do the top tier characters. If they're going to do Beast Wars, they're going to do the top tier characters. If they're going to do G1, they're going to do the top tier characters. You know, they're not going to go, oh, we're going to give you Beast Wars Wolfang, Transformers Prime Cup, and, you know, G1 Nightbeat. You know, I really don't think they're going to do that. Protoman, the ship that you used was the ship from the 1986 movie. Actually, it isn't, according to the Titanium's toy line. It's actually called the Ark. They call it the Ark, and considering there's no toys that represent the Ark, I had to use that to represent the Ark. I know it looks like the 86 shuttles that Hot Rod and Ultra Magnus and them used, but officially it's referred to as the Ark as a toy by the Titanium's 6-inch toy line. Do you think they'll make a Titan-class Metroplex 2.0? We got to get a Metroplex sooner or later of anything because that trademark's expiring soon. So, yes, we'll get something. Will it be a Titan, though? That's a different story. Where are we at here? Front end of the Titan. Yeah, it detaches to make it more accurate. Here. Get it out right now. So, there's your Ark. And it detaches if you want it. I don't want to damage too much of the paint on it because it's die-cast paint, so that strips like nothing with plastic. But yeah, the only technically Ark toy we have that isn't like some kind of fusion with a Beast toy or something, because they did a few like Ark toys, or you know, like Cyberverse Ark Optimus Prime, or we have that Ark playset that's made out of cardboard that was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive for Age of Extinction. But yeah, a lot of weird stuff like that. Where are we at? Sorry guys, if I miss any questions, just ask again. Repaint other Titans. Black Zarek repaint would be awesome. It would be awesome, but, and I've said this in previous streams, like, we don't really see much repaints of those big guys. Like, we see like simple repaints, like let's go through the history. Metroplex hits. He had his chrome version with the white, and then they did the non-chrome version, which was used for retail. And that was it. Didn't get a Metro Titan, didn't get any other repaints. Then they took that mold, retooled it, gave us Fortress Maximus. They gave a different version for Japan with a different head sculpt and slightly different paint applications, but it's more or less the same color scheme, more or less. Same color scheme, same toy, slightly different accessories and molding. They actually tried, they did a Grand Maximus repaint, and it sold terrible. And that probably scared them away from all of that. Then we get Devastator. Again, SDCC version, different face, you know, different colors and chromes on areas, but more or less the same kind of character. No repaints of that, no G2 colors, no shattered glass colors. Trypticon, just the one. Just the one. Predaking, just the one. Who am I forgetting? You know, Omega, just the one. They saw that it's not worth it to do repaints. They played it safe, you know, like, and I think that, you know, unless Scorponok sold gangbusters, like let's say Scorponok didn't even sell that well, then why would they risk it on a character that has less prestige in the Western audience? It would have to, and then would you want it to be a Generation Selects Titan class with the shipping being $200? I can't even imagine what they would charge for shipping, but that's the thing, you know. It would be bananas. It would be bananas. And Chris is in the house. But yeah, that's the way that I see it. I mean, I would love all those repaints that I said to exist. I would love Metro Titan to exist and stuff like that. But the business side of it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Do you miss toy line exclusive characters? Well, nowadays it's like, you know, if a toy line is based in a show, technically those are exclusive characters to it, no? You know, like, are you going to see, you know, like, it's like Clobber. Are you going to see Clobber in any other toy lines anytime soon outside of the Cyberverse one? Who knows? You know, who knows? With the Energon armor? Who knows? Where are we at here? Don't forget the Axelon from the United. Exactly, where they just fused it with the Sharkticon mold. You know, like, and Axelon actually did get a little figure, a little toy, very tiny one. Do you think the Ark will transform? Yes, it will. Josh Perez is here too. What up, Josh? Do you have the G1 Repugnance Double Dealer and Snaptrap, and can you show them live, please? They're... Oh, wow, the lighting's really bad. This is the G1 section, 84, 85. I can't really... I'm tethered right now to it. They're there. It's kind of hard to see. This is 84, 85, 86 with Scramble City. 87, 88, 89, Master Force, Victory, Zone. You know, you can see some of the Victory Master Force exclusive stuff there. Maybe if usually I do, I kind of show a little bit of the collection at the end of the stream when I don't have to worry about the battery being disconnected and everything. Where are we at, my brothers and sisters? The visual reference is on the floor because I've run out of space with the Cyberverse section and I have to resort everything. What I'm going to probably do is I might have to take the Bot Shots display and put it elsewhere because the Bot Shots display is taking a lot of space that could be easily like 90 figures. And they're wasting space right now. So I think I'm going to put the Bot Shots in a DTOF cabinet. No, they're not going away. They're just going to go in a DTOF or something. Like, I'll put them in, like, one of my DTOFs over here. Like, I'm going to, I'll see what I'll do with them. It's kind of like what I did with the Robot Heroes. Like, the movie Robot Heroes. Like, here, I'll show you that one quickly. Let me just show you how I did my Robot Heroes. Like, movie Robot Heroes, there were so many of them. So, how do I flip this over? Okay. So, I got, like, this simple little display here. And I just kind of, like, put them all. This is, like, one of my doors here. Look at that. going to have to connect back after, guys. I can't see anything you guys are saying, by the way. So, like, see, here was, like, the Robot Heroes line, the complete run of movie ones, and some obscure German mini PVCs. And that's the one tiny turbo changer, not tiny, a tiny Titan from the movie line. The bulkhead one, the Hound, whatever they call him. There's the DVD exclusive Cliff Jumper. But anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. So, like, you know, same thing, like, those are taking a lot of space because they're so tiny, and when you put them on a shelf, they're wasting like vertical space and horizontal space. So, like, I just bought this little thing from a flea market. Nice little, it looks like it's like a spice rack or something, but it was perfect because I could stick it in a corner between like two closet doors so it doesn't get in the way, something that wouldn't have been shelving space. And yeah, Robot Heroes should come back. Well, Robot Heroes did kind of come back. It was called Tiny Titans, and it didn't do well. You know, like, it didn't do well. Tiny Titans lasted for, like, what, 5 waves? Like, there was a ton of figures of Tiny Titans, and it didn't sell well. So they discontinued it. And I love Tiny Titans also. I tried to collect all of them because they were so cool. I loved them. I thought they were, like, there was a lot of cool obscure characters because they were trying to save trademarks. We saved Unicron. They saved the Unicron trademark through a Tiny Titan. What type of wood it is? I don't know, Chris. It's some kind of wood. I bought it from a flea market years ago. I just saw it and I was like, oh, that's like the perfect like 3 to 2 inch for like small figures. And because it was so small, it just fits in a corner and it doesn't take up any space. Like, the only thing, I only hang posters on doors and on ceilings because I never want to waste space with that kind of stuff. Do you think HasLab is working out for Hasbro? For the non-Transformer stuff, yeah. All the non-Transformer stuff has been doing gangbusters. The only thing that didn't sell well, they did that, what was that Muppet one that didn't do well? Was it supposed to, it was Cookie Monster? That one died. That one died on impact. That one was a complete disaster. That one didn't do well. So, Cookie Monster. That was a whole other story, man. That was a mess. Let's see. Were you trying to hint at something with your Instagram today? And speaking of which, my dad and I realized that one of the writers for Beast Wars must have really liked What's New, Pussy. Must have really liked Tom Jones, the singer. As for my Instagram, you must interpret what you wish from my Instagram. That is all I will say. Let's just say Daniel speaks in code. Protoman speaks in code a lot of the time. And I've been doing it for a while. What happens when a character name copyright lapses? Do other companies claim those names really super quick? So how it works with trademark claims, I wish Aaron was here because he could also verify it. But how it essentially works is a company trademarks a name with the U.S. Patent Office and Trademark Office, and they get it for 4 years. They have 4 years with it. Now, when they have it for those 4 years, they have to do something with it. So let's give an example. Hasbro trademarks Blackarachnia. They trademark the name, Blackarachnia. Now, if they don't use it within those 4 years, it gets taken away from them, and they get a fine, which, if they're a big company, it doesn't matter, but it's more just to scare away even small companies from just willy-nilly registering trademarks. They get a fine, it gets taken away from them, and they can't re-register it for a year. And during that year, another company could come in and swoop in and take it. Now, what happens is usually when that, so they'll register Blackarachnia, she'll be on like year 2 or whatever. So now they did 1, so they done something within those 4 years. When it expires on year 4, there's a 6-month waiting period that the company is then able to then re-register it. Like, they say, okay, now you have time to decide if you want to re-register it. Sometimes they use that extra 6 months to then put out another product, and then they re-register it. If it lapses, if they don't re-register it, it goes up for grabs. And then Hot Wheels grabs Hot Rod in 1988, which is a true story. Swiffer, the company, grabs Tidal Wave, which is a true story. Oh, is Aaron here? Is Aaron here? Oh, there's Aaron. Okay, good. Maybe I should have had you on the show. You asked me if I was going to be on today. I was like, does he want to be on? If he doesn't ask me, I'm not gonna ask. If you want to be on, just ask. Where are we at here? Do you have Energon checkpoint? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's the guy. It's him. Your explanation was good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm familiar with it also because as a business owner, the rules are the same thing when you trademark a business and stuff. So, but yeah, I also have I have a checkpoint also from Energon because he's a Rodimus mold, so I had to. Protoman speaks so Aaron doesn't have to. In a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. Thanks for explaining that, Protoman. No problem. But that's, and I always tell people, that's a very good indicator for figuring out, like, product that could be coming. You know, because people could be like, hey, when are we going to get Retrax for Beast Wars Kingdom? And it's just like, is Retrax trademarked? There's your answer. You know, like, it's pretty easy. Speaking of trademarks, shouldn't it be Transformers Slug podcast? I don't know. Aren't we going to be getting a leader class Transformers Slag with Daniel figure? Isn't that interesting? Where are we at here? Studio Series makes 86 movie Megatron. Yeah, I don't think it's going to turn into a gun, and I don't think they're going to do an 86 movie Megatron. They'll do Galvatron and have to circumvent ever having to worry about making a gun Megatron in 2021 in the Western market, because it's not going to happen. The closest thing we got was that little gun, that little Legends figure, and I'm even surprised that happened, and they still put an orange tip on it, and it was literally like the size of the palm of your hand. What's the history of the Slitherfang toy? Oh, I got him nearby. Him I have nearby, because he's my boy. Oh, actually, Megatron was holding him. I have my Megatron messing with him. I'll leave him with him for now. We have the card back, because the card back is really nice, the art. So, many years ago, there was a design that was made for the Headmasters TV series back in 1987. There was going to be a bunch of different Headmaster designs. Let me get the book. Let me get the book for you guys. I can even show it to you. Complete arc. Complete arc. Complete arc. Let me pull it up for you guys, and I'll even show it to you. Get it all. So we got to go to the Headmaster era. Headmasters. And we just got to get... Just bear with me for a second. It's a thick book. It's like a phone book, this thing. So there we go. Okay. So there we go. Rodney, Shuffler, Lion. Let me get to the other ones. They're somewhere here. I don't know. It's such a huge book. Got the Battle Beasts, human characters. Where are the unreleased? Here we go. Buffalo. Snake. Where are you, Snake? There we go. So, we have this guy here. Cobra. See him? Look very familiar? Look familiar? So, was just a design. Kept into the annals and lost forever. Now, fast forward to TFCon 2011. And we're doing a exclusive with the company Head Robots. And actually I could pull out the book. Pull out the book and show it to you guys. Where is it? So, 2011, TFCon. Very beautiful cover there, with a very familiar character. This is drawn by Alex Milne. Let's see who's credited. I have to make sure. Credited. Oh, okay. Good thing. So drawn by Alex Milne, colored by Joshua Perez, and written. The story was written by some guy. And it was the first time that this character got any kind of explanation or story. So there he is over there. The character's name was Toxin. I'll turn around for you guys. I'm going to get a glare a little bit. Beautifully drawn Alex Milne story. Colors by Josh, which are always the best colorists in the industry, in my opinion. And this character made his debut. He killed Loafer, the headmaster Autobot, and took over his body. So that was supposed to be Loafer's Transtector. And then Toxin killed it and took it over. Now, the story with actually the coloring and all of that is, I remember when I was working with Alex and Josh, I wanted that if someone wanted to recreate whatever idea I would come up with, that it would be a cheap body that they could buy at BotCon or TFCon. And I remember, you know, just looking at the secondary market, like the most common headmaster body with, you know, incomplete headmaster body was Chrome Dome. There was like tons of Chrome Domes in the market. So like, okay, cool. So if I put Chrome Dome as his body, then yeah, then he could be something easy for people if they want to recreate it. And here's Toxin's bio. Here's his bio too that I wrote many years ago, explaining how he was a scientist. One might die, but aids me in my progress. So cheesy. So cheesy. So essentially, it started with that. It was just going to be a one-shot thing, that character, and that was it. But then he just started popping up in all the future stuff that I would write afterwards because he was a very popular character. A lot of people were doing customs of him. It was just really, really, really cool. And then, fast forward to, I forget which issue it was, of one of the IDW comics. I know it had Drift on the cover. And Josh, the other Josh colors, Josh 2.0 colorist, Josh Burcham, he was working on that book, and they made a mistake where Chrome Dome was in two places at the same time. And they were like, oh man, what are we going to do? And so Josh Burcham remembered Toxin and redid the Chrome Dome and made it Toxin, and Toxin made his first official appearance in Transformer Fiction. So that was like the first time he showed up there. And he gets the name Toxin because of what we created here. I actually didn't give the name Toxin to Toxin. I think it was, I want to credit Ian McDonald, Cheers Ian, I think was the one who thought up the name, or maybe it was Phil, Decepticon Army. I don't remember who thought up the name. I did the bio and the story and everything, but I don't remember who gave him his name exactly. I'd have to check the message boards back in the day. But essentially, it just became unofficially an official character, and then years later, we have Slitherfang rocking the Toxin. I'm waiting for the new repaint of him, and that'd be cool. We're going to have a red repaint of him also. So that's more or less the shorthand version. But this character's appeared in a lot of comics that I've done. A lot. But just because of how popular he was with people. And people were doing G1 repaints of him. They were doing, at the time, Transformers Prime. They were doing Transformer Prime repaints. They were doing modern repaints. Like, if you type, like, Toxin Kit Bash or Toxin Custom, like TFCon, there's tons of images on Google Images of so many people that loved that character. And I don't know why, just because he was just like a throwaway character that I wrote, and then it just picked up. Advertisement for Cybertron.ca. But yeah, all because of this 1987 design that never happened. Those books still exist, Shockwave. We do them in lower prints now, and they have to be bought at people's tables. Cobra Enemy. Of course I would buy it. If Mastermind Creation repainted Chrome Dome into a Toxin, of course. There was one year where Fans Project, they did Virus, which was a Decepticon repaint of their Chrome Dome, and everyone thought it was a TFCon exclusive, but it was actually like done in red and black, and it sold out like right away. But it actually wasn't related to us at all. So that was a little bit of misinformation. Transformer Slug podcast. I hope not. The whole reason why the podcast is called Transformer Slag is because it's like we cut through the slag, so to speak, in swear word of Cybertronian. Do you think TFCon will happen next year? Man, I can't even tell you what's going to happen next month with the way the world is today. I really can't. It's something I can't speak of it because I don't even know what I'm going to be doing next month. You know, all I know is next week this is going. This is going next week. We're going to have some good hair finally next week. But I don't know. I don't know, my friend. I really don't. I want it all to happen. I don't enjoy sitting at home and, you know, just staring at the TV. I'd rather be out at the cons and stuff and digging through bins and finding cool deals. Do you think we'll ever get an MP versions of Rhinox and Rodimus? Woo! In a long time. I don't know about those guys. That's... We live in a world where we don't have Blur and Cup, and we're talking about those guys. Maybe you'll get a really, really good, you know, third version of it. Look, hey, they had the Cybertron versions, which they used the molds there. Then they did the club exclusive ones, and now you're going to have the Earthrise ones. So that's already 3 different sets of them, of those characters that had some terrible toys. But Masterpiece, maybe you should talk to a party company, because I don't think that one's happening anytime soon. Which Kingdom figure are you most excited to see now? I'd love to see how Dinobot looks. If Blackarachnia is any indication of a budget masterpiece, show me what Dinobot is. Show me what Dinobot is so people don't have to spend $300 on a Dinobot masterpiece. Truck or Monkey? Monkey, 200%, and I grew up on Truck. Let's put it that way. We still don't have Jazz and Mirage and most of the mini-bots. They'll come. They'll come. You don't have to give everyone everything in one shot. Sometimes you got to space it out. You know, if you look, think about it this way. Imagine they give you Jazz, they give you Mirage, they give you all this stuff right away. Are you going to come back later? No. They give you everything you want. So they got to you got to drip feed you as a company. You can't give people everything they want. The Beavis and Butthead of Transformers? Yeah, I'd believe that. And then you have, you know, they kind of have the hood thing because of their transformation. So one of them is going to be Cornholio. You know? For anyone that gets that reference. Get a cheaper Dinobot for now. Save up for an MP later. Or that. Or that. Or have an awesome guy like Ian McRobbie that hooked me up. Do you think you will still do the Saturday streams if the world starts normalizing? It'll probably get reduced, but I will probably still do them because people really like them. When I did that very first one, I didn't think, you know, look, 111 people are watching right now. You know, like I would have not imagined, and it's going up and down, but, you know, I would have not imagined that many people would want me just sitting here talking at a screen, blah, 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 blah. But evidently I was wrong. I always felt that you kind of needed to have someone else to bounce off of, but evidently people really like watching me talk, I guess, and I'm very grateful for it. It'll probably get reduced, but it will still happen. I'll still try to figure out a way. Maybe I'll have to move it to Sundays or Friday nights, you know, because Saturdays are usually my busiest days, but we'll see. I mean, I can't imagine a Saturday night where I'm not going out having sushi or hanging out with people, and it's like the whole world is different. Yeah, my streams with Aaron Archer, I love doing those streams with Aaron because we get into the weeds of toy design and the kind of stuff that I really like talking about because it's the business aspect of it and the engineering aspect and the logical aspect, and it's stuff that, like when I go to bot cons and TF cons and I have conversations with people, I rarely get to have those kind of conversations. Jaws D was supposed to be on the stream today, but he had to go to work. Now, keep in mind, Jaws D, he works for a tech company that does like movie stuff, so his job is not, you know, it has insane social distancing, his job. But he was supposed to be here today. He just couldn't make it. I always try to ask if he's coming. What are your thoughts on a Generation Selects hauler? I think it's going to happen, 200%. Look at all the stuff we got. We got Cordon. You know, where's our deep cover? You know, give us another Tiger track. We're gonna get hauler. If you had to bet money we're going to get Hauler. We're going to get him. I'm in for a G1 version of Kingdom only for Cheetor. I don't know White Tiger. You mean Tigatron? Tony the Tiger? David Cabal is here. What up, David? Protomen should do history videos like you gals. What do you mean by that, David? Oh, Toy Galaxy. Dan Larson does a very good job, but, and maybe it's just me, but I hate when stuff is scripted. I really do. Like Dan is, and no offense to Dan, I love what Dan Larson does. He's educating a ton of people on dead toy lines, and it's creating a whole interest for a whole different markets. Dan is doing a great job, but he's reading from a cue card, and I don't know. To me, it's like I just like stuff that's more organic, that it comes from here, not from something that you're reading. I mean, sometimes he's reading a cue card, and you see he reads a character a different name, and you just go like, ooh, yeah, this is not coming from here, you know. But that's just me. But I still love everything that he does. I appreciate the fact that he does videos on Bots, Master, Street Sharks, Cops, Galaxy Rangers, all these obscure 90s stuff that normally no one would talk about. You know, that stuff that I love like crazy. So, all to him, man. I love what he does. Of all the scrapped concepts that making characters out of, how come we haven't seen the G.I. Joe crossover 6-shot prototype? You know what? I think it's just Hasbro just doesn't want to mix those two. You know, like you would think, like after they've had all these comic crossovers together, they'd make some toy lines. They really just don't want to mix those two. And like Aaron would say, I mean, when you mix those two, you have Mask or Human Alliance. Cops figures were great. I love Cops. I have a near complete Cops figure collection. I love Cops. Love Cops. I wish people liked Cops more. And we're getting new Cops merch. I know they're kind of like robot heroes. But I mean, I'll take anything Cops. Give me a long arm. Give me a long arm Cops figure. Me and Jaws D, we would talk about doing Halloween, like a group cosplay or whatever you want to call it, Halloween party, where I would be long arm and he would be bulletproof. And even he has the trench coat. So like, and he would just have to like get a Jerry curl or something. We wanted to do that. Like we've been talking about it for years and we never did it. Well, when you're in Quebec, you have all the anime. You get a whole, like, you know, you watch Anglophone television and you get all those 90s and 80s English shows that they grew up on. And then when you watch French TV in the 80s and the 90s, it was all the anime that, you know, those people didn't get to grow up. We got a super chat that just popped up here. Super chat question from Clark Clint. I hope I had that right, Clark Clint. Clark Clint. When Hasbro revisits Unicron Trilogy, do you think they will make all new molds for those characters, or will they move to a different series? Well, if they revisit Unicron Trilogy, I would imagine they would just do like what we've seen in the past when they revisit Unicron Trilogy characters, where they just kind of update the design. Obviously, there'll be new molds because, like, to give an example, we had Hotshot that was done from Siege Hound. So I would see them doing brand new molds, but like really homaging those old designs. Obviously, like, look, especially Armada. Armada was a very blocky kind of design because of its gimmickry, you know, like the whole, any kind of like pop-out system, all the gimmicks. Armada had to be blocky for that, to work with that, to be very toyetic. But the second you strip that out and you modernize those characters, you could get some really sexy, you know, like give me a modern Scavenger. Armada Scavenger. Oh, I would love that. I love that character. Such a cool design with the cloak and everything. Sign me up. Do you think the next trilogy could be a remake of Unicron Trilogy? Well, let's put it this way. If Beast Wars doesn't sell well, that might be the next thing that happens. How would a modern Armada Unicron work? I don't know. It really just falls on the color scheme now at this point. It would have to have the big M, like it has the Micron M on his forehead, because a lot of people don't realize that. It's kind of part of the design. Man, like it's too bright. I wish I could show you guys better. But, yeah. Anyways, you kind of see them all there. Armada Demolishor, that's another one. That's another one, too. I think that's a trademark they don't have right now, actually. I think they lost that trademark. I mean, it's not like someone else has it, but they don't have it currently. They could re-trademark it, I guess. Remember growing up in Montreal, we got Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Cops on TV, and then you could watch Goldarak, UFO Grandizer Goldarak with Duke Freed. Luke, stay here 1 second. Damn, I don't have it here. It's in the storage bin upstairs, I think. I have a whole bunch. I bought recently a Goldarak comic book collection. Huge one. Huge, huge, huge one. It's in the storage upstairs. Stuff that's going to be sold. Proto, do you have any RoboFos figures? Just one. I have just one. And I love all the new ones that started coming out from Glyos, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But they're really cool. I love old-timey kind of robot stuff. There was an old line, I think it was 1970s robot line called Dingalings. I know it sounds so silly, but they're really cool. It's almost like the precursor to like Breastmasters and Brainmasters and Headmasters. Like you should see those. Those are really cool. There's really good commercials of those. I think Josh Perez knows what I'm talking about with those. Like not many people know about it. Browning is a very obscure Master Force character and a functioning gun. A beautifully functioning gun. Bada boom. This is the Microman version with the red. And then we got in blue the original. Look how reflective he is. You can practically see yourself. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. And he's a working gun. Put the bullet in there. How does this work? Come on. Anyways, working gun. To a degree, as much as a gun could be working. And everyone's looking at my butt on camera. Super Mario pajamas? Yeah. When you're in this crisis. Yeah, see, Josh knows what I'm talking about. King Ding is super cool. Check those out. It's on YouTube. They probably have all the commercials of the Dingalings. I think they're called Dingalings. Something like that. They were like these old robots, and they were so cool. And I'd love to find those really cheap. Which I have to ask, are you getting the new Game & Watch? Yes, I am. That brand new Nintendo frickin' stream and that Game & Watch that they're showing off, that thing's going to sell out in 5 seconds. It's going to get scalped so bad, and I know it, and I'm going to pay a scalper because I really want it because I collect Game & Watch. Ooh, too much nostalgia with those Game & Watches. They're going to kill me. Is Cancer an evil character in Master Force? I don't want to spoil, but he's in the middle. That's all I'm going to say. For people who haven't watched Master Force, watch Master Force. People. Demolisher was in the RODS and his name. Oh, it's true. Yeah, he was. It's true. He was. So I guess they probably still have that trademark then. Canadian search on your Best Buys. Yeah, it is going to be a tough one to get that. What do you sell your figures on, and what is it called? Normally, I don't sell stuff on eBay. It has to be an item that is really rare and has a prestige that only a worldwide audience would appreciate, like a really rare European Lego set or something, or a really rare Japanese Transformer. In general, I just wait for conventions. because I have so many opportunities to sell because of conventions. Again, not now. Now is terrible, but when you do like 9 to 10 shows a year in a 12-month year, there's always some platform to sell. And when you do like TFCon and you do like big room parties and it's only Transformer fans and you just bring all your Transformer stuff, it's just easier that way than making multiple listings online, dealing with shipping. Oh no, I undercharged on the shipping. Oh no, I overcharged on the shipping. Oh, it got lost in transit. The person didn't get it. You know, all the headaches and the back and forth and, oh, will you give me $10 instead of $5? It's so much easier just to put everything on a bed, put everything here and go, what do you want? No, done. Or when you do a con and just put it on a table. So much easier. So much easier. Yeah, we still know nothing about those fossilizers. Why am I getting like a lisp? Is the Slag podcast listed as a business? No, it isn't. I run, like, I am a mechanic by trade, but on the side I run conventions. And because I run conventions, I have to be a legally registered company because of the money that I make running those shows, because it's a secondary income that comes from something that I personally own. So I had to register a business that's Proto Retro, which is also the name of, you know, one of my channels and stuff. So it's Proto Retro Industries, and it's all my conventions that I run, High Score Con, Retro Expo, all of those. So that's why I'm a registered business. Thoughts on Mario All-Star 3 being limited? Just the printed version is going to be limited, but I know they're going to milk people with the digital one. So, but again, that's just Nintendo. They're going to make it a limited print. People are going to buy the hell out of it, and it's going to be scalped like an amiibo. The unfortunate truth. Armada Scavenger is G1 Scavenger after he told Megatron to go shove it. Well, I always used to joke, Ray, how it's like, think about it, like Armada Scavenger becomes an Autobot, and then the Constructicons in Energon are now a 5-member team. Missing one member. Who would that member be? So, if that continuity made sense, which it doesn't, because it actually doesn't. There's a whole different origin story with that. But if you wanted to make sense of it. If you really did. Thoughts on the upcoming Masterpiece train bots? You know, if we ever see them, if a certain big V didn't derail everything, and no pun intended, derail everything. Any custom Transformers in your collection? Quite a few, actually. All of them were gifts from people. Is Ultra Primal in the chat? Because Ultra Primal was one of my biggest people for gifts. Let me show you guys a few of them. Let me show a few. Got a few good ones here. This one. So, I'll show you three. Show you three of them. So first, this was a gift at TFCon 2010, I want to say. This is Battle Damage Rodimus, done by Transformers. He gifted it to me. Really awesome dude. I think the actual footage of him gifting it to me is on Vangelis's channel. Like, he just kind of gave it to me. It's really cool. Look at the bullet holes on the side. I'm just like he's all in, his innards are destroyed, and it actually does transform. Let me just and so like here's like just the front, just to show, all like beat up. Let me transform it quickly. And look at him. Look at that. Oh, got his eye shot out. I like to believe that there was an issue of the Marvel books where like Rodimus was killed by Galvatron. He was hanging between the Twin Towers. I like to believe it's kind of that version of him. See the same thing, like, you know, like the inside of the trailer all busted up and everything. Really, really well done job, that one. Props to Otis Transformers, the greatest of all time customizer that never got to go to a BotCon. And then we have, I guess Ultra Primal isn't here. So this was a gift from Ultra Primal. Anyone that's seen me when I do my racing for Formula 3, this is what my uniform looks like. So this is supposed to be a little Daniel Protoman. And this is a Formula One Human Alliance that is named Proto, and he has the red spoiler, the yellow spoiler, just kind of like Hot Rod. Really cool. And it transforms into a Formula One that he could race. And it's really cool. And again, if people have seen my racing uniform, it's on like Facebook and stuff. It's exactly like this too, so it's really cool. The helmet is obviously, my actual helmet is more Protoman inspired, but he'd have to do all the little detail, which would all be pretty crazy. Although he did a good job with the face, though. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Every time Protoman gets up, well, you guys want to see stuff. Not everything is like near me here. This is a clean floor. It's all empty. You know, I have like 1 or 2 figures near me. I hope Otis is doing well too. I love Otis. An awesome dude. But yeah, that was another one. And then I'll bring one more custom. So the last one, this one was done by Malwave. This was done in, I want to say, this was done in 2011, 2012. He made a Protoman Transformer with shield and everything. And this was made from the Captain America Marvel. So he even has the scarf and everything. And then he even included the Proto Fan, where you could, obviously the batteries are dead now. And then the fan can make the scarf float. So it also had the Proto Fan that goes with it. But yeah, this was another really wacky one that he did, a little Protoman. I like the shield though; it's pretty cool because it works very well on all like the weathering. It's almost like stuff you see now. Like look at this. This is all Siege before it was Siege. And if you look carefully, he has the arm cannon. Isn't that cool? He actually has the Protoman arm cannon on one side. Really awesome. Really nice one too. And there's a few others. There's so many. There's so many. So many. But yeah, all of them are gifted to me. I don't have, like, you know, I do model kit stuff, but I don't feel that like my talents are like super amazing. So I've never really attempted too many customs myself. I've done like this and that, but nothing major. But it's really cool, like, you know, this kind of stuff, you know, to get gifts from people and everything when they want to like show your appreciation for everything that I've done. Yes, I do race. Well, I used to many years ago. Between the ages of 18 and about 31, from like 2001, I can't really pinpoint it, up until maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I used to race a lot. I used to do Formula 3. I used to do street racing. I used to do Pro Tour go-karting. Again, that's part of the mechanic world of my life, and I loved that stuff. And that's why, like, I love Formula 1 Transformers, because when you really know, like, what are the fastest and most badass cars, Formula 1 is where it's at, man. You ever walk by your collection and just go, wow, awesome? No, I walk by my collection and go, what have I done? What have I done? This is too much. This is too much for one man. If a fire happened, you know, like, got any trophies? Lots of trophies. Lots of trophies, lots of, you know, that's all in a box, actually. It's not even on display. A lot of trophies, a lot of medals throughout the years. If you go on my Facebook, if you go through my old photos, there's tons of photos of me on podiums with trophies and medals and stuff like that throughout the years. Young me, fresh face, fuller head of hair, young me. Why did you stop racing? Got too expensive. You know, fossil fuels just got more expensive. Fixing the cars got more expensive. Metal got expensive. Life got expensive. Became a homeowner. When I was racing, I wasn't a homeowner. Didn't have a mortgage. You know, so most people who are race car drivers are rich men that come from rich families who have all the time in the world and not a 9 to 5. I was a 9 to 5er working at Burger King trying to do that at one point in my life. Yeah, like what Chris said, it's a rich man's sport. And it was a talented guy who was trying to get by in a rich man's sport. So, I once in a while, I still go back to the track. I know one of the track owners, he goes to the same dentist as me. And he would always ask, like, oh, what's happening with him? I don't see him at the track anymore. Why don't you tell him to come? I'll let him get in for free, you know? Like, I don't want to drop his name because it's a very unique name. So it's very easy to Google in the Montreal race scene. But yeah. You need a sugar mama. No. You got to be a self-made man. As much as that would make my life so much easier. Do you want this Titan figure? Or you gotta make love to an old lady? Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I walk by my collection and say, how is my wife still with me? Hey man, you know, like, I always tell people that, you know, toy collecting, there could be worse stuff your husband could be doing. Your husband could really like drinking alcohol. Your husband could really like smoking. Or, you know, something much more destructive to spend with his money. It could be a lot worse. I don't really watch Chris McFeely's stuff. I don't really watch it. There's nothing that I wouldn't already know. You know, like, I respect what he does, but it's, again, I don't really watch a lot of other people's content in general. Like Dan Larson stuff, I appreciate it because he's talking about stuff that no one talks about, and it's going to create people's interest in it. Like, no one cared about Botsmaster. Hopefully him talking about Botsmaster will make people care about it and revive that line. Blackarachnia review is up. Well, do we really need one at this point? I think we've seen everything. But yeah, you know, like a lot of creative content, I don't really. Do you have your collection insured? Impossible. This question has come up a lot. You can't insure a Transformer collection. It's let's put it this way. In order to insure the collection, you have to get someone that comes in and then appraises every single individual product, every single Creo, every single bot shot, every single G1 figure. And then when they come to a number, here's where it's going to get crazy. It's no joke. It's going to come to past $1 million. And then you're going to want to insure something that's over $1 million and pay that every single month under the assumption of a fire or a theft. You're just throwing your money away. You really are. People insure cars. Cars are $20,000, $100,000, and they pay between $500 and $1,000 a month in insurance. $1 million Transformer collection, what is going to be the insurance on that monthly? It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. And under the assumption that someone's going to rob me, if someone robs me and steals part of my Transformer collection, I feel like the insurance company would just be robbing me to begin with. You know, so insuring is crazy. It really is. If it's like a one single item that you're insuring and it's of a certain amount, you know, you got to really think about that. See you later, Slay a Stinger. Lee wants to know, hey, Protoman, great podcast. Do you do convention podcasts full time now? No more mechanic work? Also, by chance, Kingdom Inferno will be an Ant Beast instead of the repainted Grapple? First question, well, number one, I'm still a mechanic. I still do mechanic work. It's just because of the way the world is right now, we're just doing a lot less. I'm still doing it, but not actively as much as a full-time 9 to 5 as it was originally. Mostly because of our unions. That's the primary reason. Do you go to conventions and podcast full-time? I just podcast every day. I go to work, do my stuff, come home, belt out a podcast. It's just about scheduling. Conventions, I do that on the side. I'm a mechanic. You know what's a good thing about being a mechanic? Monday, Friday, we don't work weekends. Guess what's on weekends? Conventions. So I could do a Sunday for a show every single time. But yeah, and yes, I think it's going to be a fire truck Inferno, not the Ant. Unfortunately, that's what the The rumors are online, and that's what I believe is going to be it. I would like it for it to be the Ant, but I also like the Fire Truck Inferno, so I'm kind of torn between the two. But yeah, I think that Amazon exclusive Earthrise Optimus Prime would have been better if they retooled more of the pieces and have an actual battle damage on them. But then they have to retool the toy, do the tooling. That costs money. It's just so much easier to just new colors. Here you go, Amazon. Thank you. You know, so much easier that way. A YouTuber by the name of Republic Attack has his entire Lego collection stolen, and community had a huge GoFundMe. I would never ask people for... Let's put it this way. I'm not worried about my collection being stolen. I have safeguards for that. But at the same time, to do insuring is too crazy. You'd be losing money more than you'd be losing, more than you'd be losing if your collection got stolen. Do you have Sleep Mode Optimus Prime Convoy? Yes, I do, and he's lying down. The MPO-1 I have. That version. Not the new one yet. Yeah, I worked on a company dealt with money and large-scale theft. I was not worried about a semi-truck moving in. Yeah, and that's the thing is, too. I've always said if someone broke into my house, they're not racing to the Transformer room to steal Minerva. They're going to, look around, and they're going to, because the rest of my house, outside of the specific rooms, is pretty boring. They're going to steal DVDs, the flat-screen TV, the toaster. They're going to be like, They're not gonna waste their time, looking around the house. And, they're going to go into the video game room, and they're going to be overwhelmed. And they're not going to know, oh, if I take that Clay Fighters 63 and a third, that's a $1,000 N64 game. They don't know that, or Earthbound. They don't. Someone that's going to break in, either if they break in and they know what to get, then there's someone from the inside that I know. But that ain't going to happen. Didn't know you raced. Can I see your trophies? 2 floors up, brother. I'll remember next time. Remind me. 2 floors up in a box with a bunch of medals, photos, Polaroids. That's how long ago that was, before digital cameras. One day. It's not in this room, that's for sure. That's for sure. Discord chat heist. We're coming. Come at me, bro. I'm stealing your figures who need a TV or a couch anyways. I know what's in there. Of course you do. I always tell people, own a dog that if a stranger comes in the house, they growl. Own a dog. Own a nice German Shepherd, Rottweiler, nice big dog. Not something friendly like a Golden Retriever or a Labrador that's happy to see everybody. Get a dog. Get a dog. When they break into your house, they're going to take care of things. Let's put it that way. I grew up with, in grand total, 9 dogs and 14 cats. So, let me tell you, and my father was a toy collector and I was a toy collector. So, dogs are a lot better of a deterrent than any alarm system or insurance or anything. Which rooms are we raiding? I would start with the game room. It would be the easiest to take stuff, and you would probably get the most money back. In my opinion. You could take a stack of games in one hand, and you'd probably get a lot more than an armful of Transformers. That would probably get broken when you bring it back to the car. I don't know, would you rob for Master Force Minerva, Victory Saber, high dollar figures? There's more expensive stuff than those guys. Especially the prototypes. Transformers fan vote seems unfair because they always have very popular characters versus very obscure characters like Primal and Impactor. Well, that's how it is. It's almost like they know that what's going to win and they're able to plan months in advance regardless of who wins. As if it's rigged. Love your podcast. Always look forward to it. Just recently got back into Transformers after Siege came out. What a surprise that was. It was a good time to be a Transformer fan. It's look, as much as I feel that it's a bit of a gray period right now for Transformers, there's a lot of product to enjoy. You know, if you like stuff that's not super complicated and you want stories that are not super complicated, you got the Cyberverse line. You know, if you want stuff that's really simple transformations or cute things, you got the BotBots line. If you want stuff that's Generation 1 inspired, you got Siege and Earthrise. We're going to have Beast Wars next year. If you want, you know, Masterpiece for that more Hot Toys kind of upper echelon collector, there's everything with Transformers right now. And I completely left out, you know, the tail end of what doesn't exist anymore, but, you know, Rescue Bots, too, for the preschooler in mind. But, yeah, time is it now? We're 10:10. Okay, we still got some time. Still got some time. I'm going to do a few more questions, and then we'll wrap up soon enough. Car Robots was silly, but I love Car Robots. I love Car Robots. Easily the best Transformers theme song. Do you have your collection insured? No, I don't. I think I just went on a huge rant on that. No, I don't. I do not have my collection insured, and it'll never be insured because it's a waste. Sorry, pasted wrong question. Oh, okay. We're getting everyone for the first War for Cybertron except Needlenose, and we'll get Needlenose because that was trademarked in 2017. I want to say it was re-trademarked. No, it was re-trademarked in 2018. So they have to use it sooner or later. Could Core Class Megatron be a gun? Yeah, it could be. It could be. That's one way. I mean, they did that little scout scaled one I'm looking at right now. So they could totally do a Megatron gun and put a little orange tip on it. I could see that happening. I'm very curious how it would actually look. But, I mean, if the Rat Trap is any indication of what a core class is like, it'll probably be pretty awesome. Because Rat Trap was pretty good. Rat Trap was pretty good. I think they'll ever see Beast Wars Dark Glass be released as either a comic or an audio. I would like to see that. I remember, what was the name of that podcast years ago? I was on a podcast many years ago, and they were a bunch of the guys on it were talking about doing like something with the Dark Glass script, and nothing really ever came of it. But no, I'd like to see some of those, you know, never used episodes kind of fleshed out. Give us some new Beast Wars material from the old guard. Why America does the orange tip? A tip, police shoot you anyways. Well, let's not get into that. I'm Canadian. No gun here at all. Just hockey sticks and poutine. We need a new Needlenose to go with Siege Spinster. Yep. Get that huge Thunderwing team. Core class is the size of clones, so Legends. Yeah. Yep. Do you think we will get more Titan-class ships? We'll see. If a certain Autobot legendary ship does well, then yes. If a certain Autobot legendary ship doesn't do well, then the opposite of yes. Is it true that Canadians are very friendly? I don't know. I met a lot of I know a lot of Canadians that are not good people. So I'll say no. I mean, Ninjatron, terrible human being. Terrible human being. So he even said it himself. You know? And he's Canadian. He's the meanest. I mean, he's named Ninjatron. He's named after a Japanese assassin, and he's Canadian. They kill people. What's friendly about that? A ninja-killing robot Canadian. Eh? What you gonna do, eh? Oh, it looks like you Americans, you look like you got something going on there, eh? Sorry that we don't sound like that, eh? My Canadian in-laws are pretty cool. You live in Quebec, so is it really even I live in Montreal. Montreal is a whole different animal from the rest of Quebec. Montreal is. What's hilarious, Aaron? Let's see those Maximal Cowboys from Prime Season 4 concept. I would love to see that. Titan class ship, turn them into the original 13. I want original 13 figures. We were supposed to get more of those, man. Man, we were supposed to get more of those. Montreal would have to move into Ontario. Yeah. A dream that I wish could come true. A new Beast Wars ongoing comic would be sweet. They did. Look, they did a few books. They were okay. I want Beast Wars to be animated. It doesn't need to be a comic. We're pulling hairs. Beast Wars comic is always a given. You know? The IP pitch. We should have had Nexus Prime combiner. Yeah, like those original 13, man. Like they should have had like a just like during the Transformers Prime line, just slowly put out one original 13 member a wave in Deluxe or Voyager. You know? Have them in there. I mean, if you're going to have like some of the more obscure characters anyways that are non-show characters, you might as well just have an original 13 member. But maybe it's just Hasbro, you know, waiting for the right moment to do something. Do you think we'll be getting a Titan Class 2.0 Metroplex? I think so. Like I said, I think that they're going to revisit the Metroplex trademark sooner or later. The question is it going to be a small little figure or is it going to be a Titan? That's a whole other story. Hey, what do you for figures for Galaxy Odyssey packs Hasbro is making? Lightning, I don't know, but I will say this: it's going to be a repaint, and it's going to be something probably very obvious. Just think about what exists of the Siege and Earthrise molds. Think about something very obvious that's going to be a repaint that wouldn't work in retail, and it's probably going to be that. When you look at RC, you go, well, Paradon Medic, and look what happened. You know, when you look at those Sideswipe guys and all the Lamborghinis, think of all the obscure repaints, they're going to happen. What's your thoughts for a Kingdom Commander? G1 related, not Beast Wars related, and much desired. That's all I'll say with that. How do you think Hasbro will do a Beast Wars themes accessory pack? You need to have stasis pods, you need to have the Energon crystals, you need to have a 1-to-1 scale deluxe CR chamber. That'd be really cool. Rubber ducky for Megatron. You know, Starscream head. Little shades to put on Optimus Primal for Hasta La Vista Starscream. Sky's the limit, but the limit is far from the sky. Do you think we'll see any of the gimmicks from War for Cybertron in any of the lines in the future? Well, again, if it sells well, it moves forward. Titans Return, it sold well. It survived through this. Continued. This didn't sell well, and thus it didn't move forward. Siege, Micromaster sold well. It moved forward into the second series. Whenever something does well. Yeah, golden discs for the accessory pack. That's another one. Fractal, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't do a Fractal. You know, like, I mean, we got the Bakon, not the Bakon, the Collector Club one, but surprised we didn't get another one from the Transmetal Pterosaur. Cheeto. That's a typo that actually makes me laugh. Cheeto's Gut Gun, since the deluxe one doesn't come with one. I would love a Cheetor. It ain't easy being cheesy. Golden disc and accessory pack, I agree. We'll have to see. I would love a stasis pod just because that'd just be a cool thing to have, and something that like at least it scales that at least all the deluxes or Scout class could kind of fit in them. You know, obviously I don't expect like a Voyager 2, but at least something realistic. That'd be really cool. I would dig that a lot. Cheeto's Gut Gun. Chester Cheetah. Megatron's gun from Call, yeah, his hunting sniper gun. There's a lot of stuff. Look, there's in Beast Wars alone, there was a lot of like one-off accessories and one-off gadgets. Like Optimus Primal, he had like this, like Transmetal Optimus Primal, he had this thing that he put on Cheetor's chest, and it was like a defibrillator where like it woke him up and everything. One episode, pulled it out of nowhere, never used it again. You know, Rhinox's beer hat, antidote thingy. There's so many things that from Beast Wars that you could do. There's so much of that. What do you think the chances of a proper Power Master update in the future? If we go back to that kind of play pattern, not yet. They come around to it, but not yet. We just came off of kind of that play pattern with the Titan Masters and stuff. I don't think they're going to be going back to it yet. Sorry I've already gotten this question, but what is your opinion on the name of Sandstorm being used for a Seeker? No different than in Generation 2 when they called a Decepticon jet smokescreen, or when they called a GoBot Frenzy that was a car. It happens with trademarks all the time. And, did I, all those years ago when Inferno debuted as an ant, being a Generation 1 fan and a G2 fan, complain that it wasn't a fire truck or a good guy? It happens. Trademarks happen all the time. And Sandstorm was a trademark in 1986 that was going to expire, and then they refreshed it, and then they were going to use it for G2, and it didn't happen. Same thing. Look at Blackout. Blackout was a Micromaster. It was refreshed again, and then it was going to be used as a black repaint in G2 for a Seeker jet. It ended up not getting used, and then years later, we have an Energon character named Blackout, and then what we know today as the movie character. Sometimes an evolution of a name changes many hands. Many, many hands. But yeah. How long do you think it would take to get an official Masterpiece Jazz, considering Volkswagen continues partnership with Hasbro? I think we're going to get a Jazz sooner than you think. I think that it's just because we're going into a Beast year. There's going to be a little more focus on the Beasts, but I think we're going to get a Jazz a lot sooner than you think. In the same way that people for years got third-party RCs, and then we finally got our third-party RC. There's more than one Daniels in this world. Why can't there be many Blackouts or Swerves in Cybertron? Thank you, Aaron. I've said that for years. Even within Transformers lore, there is a UK story written by Simon Furman called Dive Bomb versus Dive Bomb, where Swoop, before he was Swoop of the Dinobots, he was a character named Dive Bomb, and he had a fight with the Predacon character in Ancient Cybertron named Dive Bomb, and they fought for the name, and in the end, Dive Bomb beat Dive Bomb, and that other Dive Bomb became Swoop. It came up back then, back in 1988, and it's no surprise that it could come up again. So, do you think Selects might repaint Blackarachnia with trigger color scheme? That'd be cool. In the same way that I'm surprised we never got a dark design Rhinox color scheme. But that'd be really cool. I'd dig that a lot. The silver and everything, that could be a Generation Selects in a heartbeat. And people would buy it because that mold looks amazing. So, I'm down. If we're not getting a masterpiece of it, might as well get something from a $20 price point figure. Speaking of name trademarks, do you think it would be cool if they made Armada Thrust along with G1 Thrust? Why not? Armada Thrust is a schemer, Starscream-esque kind of character. And G1 Thrust is G1 Thrust. So you have two characters that, despite that, the character of Thrust and the name of Thrust has been used in many different ways across many different Transformer lore. Because you have Beast Machines Thrust, which was a different character completely. I don't want to spoil for the few people that haven't watched Beast Machines. You have Thrust that was used in Beast Wars 2nd, which was one of the flip changers from Machine Wars that was turned into a character. It was the yellow Megatron jet. It was called Thrust. Unrelated to the G1 character, unrelated to the Armada character, unrelated to the Beast Machines character. It has Thrust. And then you have Armada Thrust. So it's a very popular name that's very easy to throw onto other characters. And I know I'm forgetting some for sure. For sure I'm forgetting some other Thrusts, but that's the point. Where are we at here? Do you think Armada cast characters will ever get a Generations treatment? I do. They already did. We got a few of them. We got Starscream. We got Hot Rod. They'll get them. Armada kids exist. They exist. They're fans. They want that stuff of their childhood to exist. It'll happen. It'll happen for sure. 200%. They did Armada third-party stuff. It sold. They'll do it again. Do you think we'll see Road Rage and Loud Pedal as exclusives or select figures from the King? Yes, 200%. If you're going to have a Trax mold and you ask yourself, what are they going to repaint it as? It's going to happen. Look, we had the Trax mold before. The old, what was it? Reveal the Shield, Hunt for the Decepticons. One of those like mid-tier Generations lines. They took that mold, and in a world where Botcon still existed, they did a red repaint. No surprise. So, for sure, 100%. Road Rage, definitely more than Loud Pedal, but definitely they're going to do something. Do you ever feel bad for Waspinator? I love Waspinator. He's in like my top 3 favorite Predacons, easily, because he's indestructible. No one could kill... Optimus Prime got shot in the gut and spark bleeded out. Waspinator has been killed a million times and keeps coming back. You know? Do you think Tigatron will ever come with his mutant head since Blackarachnia comes with his? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Or it'll be an accessory on the side. By the way, also, Blackarachnia coming with a mutant head has nothing to do with Blackarachnia coming with a mutant head. Blackarachnia coming with a mutant head just means this guy happens. That's all. Repaint, retool. Figure out how that works. So that just might answer anyone's question for who that is. Protoman, we need an official story for G1 Thrust, Beast Wars Thrust, Armada Thrust, and an unlikely trio. That would have been a Transformer Collector Club Prost story that would have been written on the side by Jesse Witherich or someone. Would have been really cool. Would have been really, really cool to see that. But it sucks that the club doesn't exist anymore because there was a lot of cool stuff. The Axiom Nexus opened up a lot of doorways to a lot of wacky storytelling. You know, a lot of that, like, you know, hey, let's get these group of characters together and see what would happen. Mix them in a pot. Kingdom is successful. Will Transmetals be introduced? Yep, I've said that many times. If Kingdom is a blockbuster success, prepare to see Season 2 characters. Armada Thrust is such an underrated character and had a painful death. Spoiler. Do you think Hasbro will continue Beast Wars after Kingdom? To answer the guy's question before, yes. If it makes money, they continue doing it. If it doesn't make money, move on to the next thing. The money train for businesses do not stop. That conveyor belt has to keep going regardless of success or failure. That thing never stops. They keep going. Oh, it didn't work out. All right, move out the Armada stuff. We're doing Armada stuff. Oh, Armada didn't sell well. Let's go back to G1. Oh, the G1's selling well. Okay, let's keep doing G1. Let's do some G2 stuff. Oh, the G2 stuff's selling well. Do more G2. Oh, it stopped selling well. Okay, let's go to Beasts again. And what I just said was a 10-year span. You think Tigatron will be repainted into his stripes, the mini cassette? I would like Tigatron repainted into his prototype colors of the orange and blue Tigatron. That'd be really cool. Because there's not much that you could really do with Tigatron, unfortunately. You have to like make new characters or something. So that'd be really cool. And then you could finally like give a character that orange Tigatron. Make him call him Tony. Call him Tony. And his tech specs quote is, "They're great." And his gun is the Kellogg's gun. And then Hasbro gets sued. If they make a Kingdom Tankor, do you think it would be a Brunt retool? I think it would be a new mold. I think we already got a really good Tankor. That Tankor that we got from Generations was amazing. So I don't know how you could reinvent that wheel outside of making him bigger, like making him a Voyager scale instead of deluxe. But I love that Tankor. You think we'll get a new Buzzsaw? Anyone that has a repaint brother, like Waspinator, they're going to get their repaint brother or sister. If we have a Blackarachnia, we're getting a Tarantulas. If we have a Cheetor, mind you, it's going to be a different mold. If we have a Cheetor, we're going to get a Shadow Panther. We already have a Tigatron. Maybe he'll get his orange repaint. And again, if we have a Waspinator, we're going to get a Buzzsaw. If we're going to have a Rat Trap, we're going to get a Pack Rat. It's not a matter of if it'll happen, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. Because when we got Rat Trap from Generations, Did we get Pack Rat? Yes, we did. The obvious stuff has an obvious conclusion. Can we get a Beast Wars Inferno? I would like it. Doesn't look like it's going to happen yet, but I would like it. Hello, do you think Takara is working on a Masterpiece Combiners? They have one in the works. We just haven't seen it yet because of the big V. And that was Raiden. And if Raiden sold well, which is kind of a... Raiden's going to be definitely an indicator of what they want to do with Masterpiece Combiners. Do you think we'll be getting a Blaster figure? Right now, we already have a Blaster reissue. They kind of refreshed that trademark for a bit. They could technically do another Blaster figure, but right now they have the G1 reissue, so I don't think there's going to be a rush to do that. T-Rex from Megatron. There's another one. That could be a Generation Selects. Have them do a Transformer Tuesday and go, we're going to bring back the fan favorite, the Beast Wars Dinobots. Yeah. I don't think Hasbro really tapped into the potential of HasLab. We'll see what they do in the future. Headcanon, Tarantulas, and Blackarachnia are one and the same. If you think so. Wild prediction for the next Transformer Tuesday. What has to, again, wild prediction would be something that's an original mold and original character, but it's just me going like, well, just look at the molds. All right, let's lean over here. We're gonna take Hoist, and we're gonna give him his Diaclone colors, and we're gonna make a new trademark or use an existing trademark to attach to it, and then we're gonna make Hauler, and then we're gonna take the Cliff Jumper / Bumblebee mold from Earthrise and do Glyph and Tap Out. And then we're going to do, let's see, and then we're going to take Hound from Siege and paint him brown and call him Ditryus from the planet of Junk, because we're going from planet to planet, right? So we're going to have Junk. Who else? I mean, I could go on and on. Like, it's, you just look at what exists in the past year and then slap a character that's an obvious repaint from Transformer lore. It doesn't take much to figure it out. Now that the MP repaints I'm waiting for. Tarantulas just wants to express his feminine side. Perhaps he does. Perhaps he does. Have you ever driven a Lamborghini? Nope. The most expensive car I've ever driven in was a Porsche 911 Turbo Gabarella drop top black, manual transmission, and it was a 9899. It was owned by a very nice doctor named Mr. Arthur. Shout out to him. And that's his baby. And the car that his wife drives is a beater, because he would never give his wife a good car, which I always found. His wife drove like a beat-up Subaru Outback or something. So, nice guy, but pretty sure his wife would have liked a nicer car. But he's a nice doctor. Do you think Thrust and Runabout will be exclusives? Possibly. Could be. I would hope they wouldn't be for you know, when you have characters that are a little more mainstream, I would hope not, but it's a possibility. Was that Porsche custom? I don't think it was a custom, because he doesn't seem like the kind that would have done something like that. But he did have the drop top version, which is the Gabarella, which is a little more difficult to get, especially for $98.99 back in that era. Do you think it would be cool to get a new Goldbug? Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. But that would have to be a new mold. I wouldn't want a repaint. I would want a Goldbug that's like, it's a Volkswagen, but it's also a new mold. It's not like based off of a Bumblebee mold. I would like a new mold. Who could Power the Prime's Battle Trap be a repaint into? Wouldn't you want a Battle Trap that actually is, you know, like some actual good character or something? Because, like, think about it, like, you'd have to, like, force something out of it. Because, you know, those dual cons, like, they don't have repaint brothers. That's the problem. You could try to, like, oh, maybe we'll do some really obscure Energon character thing, or we could do some really obscure Transformers Victory Landcross character thing, but you don't want to do that. And I'd rather they retool them than to do something like that too, which they wouldn't. They would just do a straight up repaint. How about a Botanica figure? How about yes? Botanica has never gotten a figure. Even Transmutate at this point has had 2 figures, and Botanica has had 0. And we have BotBots, which if they wanted to have one character from Transformers lore and BotBots that could be like the figurehead of BotBots, it could have been Botanica. But I don't work at Hasbro, so I don't know, right? Are you going to get Optimus Primal, Bat, and Megatron Croc? Are we going to get? Well, we got an Optimus Primal Bat during Titan Returns with that mold, so I could see, you know, it shows that it's on the plate that they would like to do it. But it's a matter of, do the molds exist? And if you did do those molds, what can you repaint it into afterwards outside of the obvious? You know, Onyx Primal, you know, Convoy Bat. We'll see. Can you explain a bit on the role of Tripredacus Council in Beast Wars? Are they Beast Wars equivalent of the Quintessons? Well, Bob Forward talked about this, that there was a lot of unwritten material that never really made it into the show, and how there was a chance that the Tripredacus Council were actually Unicronian in origin, and they weren't Decepticons. But none of that really made it into the final product, and ultimately in the end they were Decepticon descendants and stuff like that. So it gets complicated with them. The way that I look at it, they're just the council, the secret mafia council of the Decepticon descendants, pretty much. That's the way that I look at it. And they put hits out on people that they don't like. Oh, this Megatron guy, he's getting out of hand. Let's rub him out. Let's rub him out, see? You know? Pretty much. Do you think the next generation selects reveal will be a single pack or a multi-pack? They're all going to be multi-packs. The Galactic Odyssey stuff is going to be multi-packs. The Generation Select stuff is going to be single packs. I want Devastation Foot Soldiers for selects. Talk to Hasbro. Proto Silver, talk to Hasbro. You're going to have to shake them down on that one. For sure. Black Zarek would be cool and an expensive repaint. You said it yourself. He would be cool, but he would be an expensive repaint. Proto, which Siege Earthrise molds could we get an Auto Trooper out of to go with the Devastation Grunt Troops? Well, it would probably be like, you know, you would have to just retool the Datsun brothers pretty much. You know, just take the Earthrise Datsun brothers and just retool them into the Auto Troopers. That'd probably be the best one, in my opinion. Put a new head on it. Give him a new weapon. And that's that. All white, plain and simple. Do you think the Vok can exist in toy form? Yes, they do. It's called Tigerhawk. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. But the thing is, you know, through Sakamoto, Hayato Sakamoto, you know, retconning a lot of stuff, the Vok is really having a close tie to, you know, Super Megatron and what was going on with Transformers Zone and Dark Nova with Return to Star Convoy. So we might get a Vok figure in some shape or form at one point in the future, if not already, if you really consider the lore that exists. I mean, technically Fox Kids Repaint Tarantulas is possessed by the Vok. Technically, you know? So that would be an expensive Fox Kids repaint to pick up to get your first Vok toy, if you don't count Tigerhawk. Do you think Earthrise Megs would look better without the battle damage smudges? You know what? It really depends. You know, it really depends, because at least it shows that Hasbro is willing to, like, paint these guys, you know? Because imagine if it didn't have it, how little paint there would actually be on this thing. Like, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the face. You know, like how many like paint apps, like, you know, maybe here. So 1 for the red, tempo, 2, 3. You know, and the treads 4. Isn't it sad? Like 4 paint apps. You know, but it's a way to kind of make up for it, I guess. Give you your money's worth. We're going pretty late this evening, huh? No. Because we started late. We started at 11. We started at 8 o'clock. We'll end soon, anyways. Oh man, well, yeah, it's true, eh? 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh snap! We're already gonna go on. We're on 3 hours. All right, maybe we'll call it quits. I lost track of time. Damn. Power of the Primes. Rodimus retool into Takara Duke Fire. Yes, I would like that, but It'd probably be just me and you, Ray. That would like that. I own Duke Fire. So, really cool one. Predictions for Earthrise and Kingdom Netflix series. That's going to come up in a future podcast segment. It's actually going to come up. Something that's been asked as a listener question. Do you think we'll get Tiger Hawk figure on his own? Too far ahead. Season 3. We'll get a Tigatron. We'll get an Air Razor. Tiger Hawk, too far ahead, bro. Too far ahead. I don't know. The lack of paint apps are fine because they replace it with plastic. Let's hope so. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. Some companies don't have the Todd McFarlane way of thinking. 10 cents away from the plastic, 10 cents more for the paint, or vice versa. Not everyone thinks like Todd. Todd is a special cat, one of the smartest men in the biz. Revolutionized the game. But sometimes, Hasbro doesn't think like Todd McFarlane. So, and that's why they don't get along. That's why Todd didn't want to work with them. I don't mind a fewer paint apps as long as... Okay, same question. Sorry. I saw that Spawn statue still stands. Is Depth Charge going to get a figure? Probably not. Not yet. Probably not. The trademark on him, I'm just trying to think of what its longevity is right now. They're probably going to do like a movie studio series or something and slap a depth charge on it before they do anything else. Not death charge, but depth charge. But yeah. So we'll do a last run of super chat questions, and then we'll call it a night. It's been a crazy day. A lot of reveals, a lot of discussed today, a lot of cool stuff showed off, a lot of stuff with capes today. A lot of stuff with capes for some weird reason. But yeah, not much else. All I could really say is once again, thanks again for coming. And if you're interested in being part of the podcast, we have the member thing that you could join. We have the Patreon, patreon.com/Protomen. If you're watching this in repeats, which will be usually uploaded 24 hours later, or 13 hours later, depending on how YouTube's going to want to work. It'll also have the Patreon information in the description. But yeah, check out everything, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for all the fun. Thanks to the Super Chat people that donated and gave some cool questions and everything. Always helps fund this madness. Gives me more of an incentive to do this craziness and answer rapid fire questions over and over and over. Ninjatron's doing a panel tomorrow on Twitch. Check out his Twitter for updates, I guess. Would probably be the best place, right, Ninja? But yeah, that's more or less I could say. Thanks again coming, guys. We topped out at like over 105 or 6 people, so it was pretty good. And the in and outs, who knows, definitely over in the thousands. But thanks again. Oh, we have a super chat. One more question. Kingdom Pulse 2020, aka Pulse. The Hasbro Pulse con will have Kingdom stuff in it. Thanks again, guys. Bob the Awesome. Thanks.